Hi YouTube, this is Jarl DM. I'm going to be running a Numenera game today called Monkey Business. I've got 4 players here. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves and their channels if they have one. So go ahead, guys, whatever order you feel like.
I'm Andrew Knapp. I go by SR2 Joker on YouTube. Got some D&D stuff, got some Palladium stuff, got some weird stuff. Check it out. I'm gonna be playing Flavius, a clever jack that talks with machines.
Don't all rush at once, guys. All right, don't everybody freak out and go at once. Okay, Bruce, you go next.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne here, or Heath, whatever you want to call me. Be playing a glaive today, a rugged glaive who employs magnetism. I guess I have a YouTube channel. You can go look at it, Bruce Wayne. Um, there's nothing there though, so yeah, that's about it.
Way to sell it. That's good. Okay, Nelson, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Nelson. I have the Infinite Roleplay YouTube channel. I just do a bunch of stuff that's tabletop related on there. Plays, comments, chats, crafting, art, pretty much anything that I can involve in roleplay. I'll be playing Shimotang, who is a tough nano who wears a sheen of ice.
Okay, and then Nick.
Hey, I'm Nick. I don't have a fancy channel. I will be playing Kira, the mutant Jack who hunts with great skill.
Perfect. Okay, so you guys are in a town, a city. It's kind of halfway between. It's called Eutactos. Okay, it's on the back of a gargantuan biomechanical man, and this man is kind of like Atlas holding up the wall of a cavern, of a canyon. Um, so this statue, whatever it is biomechanical. There's definitely metal and stuff in there. It's holding up this wall of a canyon. The town is pretty big. Most of it's on his shoulders and his back as he's pushing this canyon wall. But the people who live there have dug down into the statue. They've made a little pathway from his back coming out his sternum to a platform, and they dig way down and they mine inside the statue. Um, so the giant actually bleeds a sort of silvery liquid, and the people who live in this city, um, they drink this liquid, and it bestows upon them a little bit of strangeness. So initially, their extremities start to get silvery, their tips of their fingers, and the more time passes, their hands become silver, and then their arms, and their toes, and their feet, and then eventually, pretty much their entire skin becomes kind of sheened in silvery metal. Um, the place is hot. It is industrial. You can hear constant humming and thrumming of mining machinery digging way down into this gargantuan statue. Because when they do so, they pull out big, huge chunks of silver, and they bring them to the top, and they make stuff out of them, and they trade, and that's how the town gets most of its money. So you guys are somewhere within Eutactos. Um, so you could be in the main city, you could be on one of the fingers holding up the canyon. I mean, it's all reachable, apart from the very low parts, which is done by people digging down there. So you can just go ahead and explain where your dude is and what he would be doing. One at a time, guys.
I can go first if you guys are cool with that. Okay. So in this junkyard full of garbage and mechanical spare parts, kind of like a technological Golgotha, you see a man in a black trench coat digging through the garbage. And as he parts it away, you see a robotic skull. And coming out of the eye is this neon glow. And you see two wings emerge. And it's the neon glow of a butterfly. Nature's reclaiming the machine. The neon butterfly eats the circuitry pulling it out of the eye socket, gnawing on the end of it. This might move a normal man, but it doesn't move Flavius. Flavius doesn't see any difference between nature and the machine. It's the same to him. The butterfly feeding on the parts is the same as these people in Ectactos, feeding off of this gargantuan statue, drinking its blood as a life source. You see before his eyes a gigantic syringe appears, and he pushes on the back of it, and acetone squirts out of the end like a fountain. And you can smell this really heavy, chemical, fruity flavor. It smells like death. And he lowers the syringe down into the thorax of the butterfly, and you see it start to spasm and then go limp. He drops the syringe and out comes tweezers, and he pulls it up before his eye and just looks at it. If you weren't so confused, maybe he would think it was beautiful. And then in a glass jar, he puts it down inside, and it's got a hinge top, and you hear, and the glow starts to fade as he puts it into his satchel, which he's carrying over his shoulder.
Excellent. Okay, who'd like to go next?
You see a small, empty room, save for maybe an old couch, a desk, and a chair. There's a figure sitting in the chair. All the blinds are pulled down in an attempt to hide the sunlight from the room's interior. A small globe lighting up the desk. The man's hunched over. Seems to be working furiously. A small fan is on the desk, blowing straight into the man's face. You see him dripping with sweat, nearly dying in the heat. He's got a bowl of water he keeps dipping his hands into. Every time you see the hands go into the water, a little bit of dirt comes off, muddies the color of the water. Then you follow his hand as it goes back to this lump of clay that he's trying to form and shape. Looks like he's trying to make a figure. Maybe it's the statue of the mechanical man holding up the canyon. He keeps working the clay, and it never seems to go in quite the same form. Obviously, his face is frustrated, his brow is furrowed. Oh, can't do this. He keeps forming the clay, and finally, after hours of working, he gets the clay into the general shape of a man, and you know it's leaned over, and it's starting to resemble the mechanical man. And then the clay turns and looks at him. The mechanical man smiles, and the clay just goes limp. Oh, not again!
Nice. Okay, you go next, kids.
Kira sits at the highest point in the city, looking down at the strange city folk going about their business. She's a lanky, athletic girl, or young woman rather, with blue skin and pointed ears. Her eyes, what the citizens call her strange eyes, have two pupils in each iris. She pulls down goggles that she wears not for any other reason other than to hide her eyes from the people who get kind of freaked out by the little weird mutant girl who's kind of nested on the highest point of their city. She grabs her bow and jumps off of the building. Two feathered wings come out, and she glides down to the square and looks for something to eat.
Nice. Okay, and then just Heath.
A large rugged-looking man stands in the middle of a local shop, and all around him, lining the walls, are devices and weaponry that tell of the time he now lives in. But the large sword and archaic pauldron that he wears speak of an era long forgotten. He shakes his head ever so slightly at these newfangled contraptions, and he turns to leave. And as he does, the shopkeep comes around, a small, wiry fellow, approaches and says, "Excuse me, sir. What seems to be the problem? These wares, do they not meet your specifications?" He says, "No, they do not." He says, "What you have here has not seen half of the world that my blade has. It would not still be in one piece." He says, "Surely you could use an upgrade." He says, "No, not at all. This blade serves me just as well as the day it did when I first got it." He says, "Sir, please, I didn't catch your name. Surely we can come to some agreement." He says, "I think not. As for my name, I'm just passing through." And he leaves the shop.
Okay, so you notice when you're talking to this shopkeeper that when he's waving his arms around, he's got his sleeves rolled up, that it's silver the whole way. So he's got silver fingertips all the way up to where his shirt covers his elbows. And you can even see a little bit of silver kind of coming up the little bit of his neck here. And this is a theme with everybody you see in the town. All the adults, anyway, have, at the very least, silver fingertips. And the most you've seen is people who have just human eyes, and the rest is entirely silver, head to toe. You've been told, you've been asked to meet with Salazar, who is the mayor, I suppose, of this city, because children have been going missing. And you're brought to meet him. He lives in he meets people in a building made of silver. The entire thing. Just a massive slab of silver. Looks like they've just hollowed out the inside. And it's really garish, and to you, as you kind of, it catches the sunlight, it blinds you a little bit. They're not, the houses that are made of silver, they're not finely crafted. It looks like they've just got a huge hunk of silver, plopped it down, and then just cut the inside out. You meet this man, Salazar, and he's got a face made of silver, like the entire thing. It moves kind of slowly, like mercury. Like when he has an expression, it kind of flows into that expression. He's got human eyes, but they're like a bright silver color, so it looks like he just has pupils. And sitting next to him is his wife, and she's similar, but her nose and her lips are not yet silvered. When he opens his mouth to speak, you can see that the inside of his mouth is also made of silver, so he is silver on the inside too. And he says, "We are pleased that you could make it." And when he speaks, there's like a metallic hum to the way he speaks, almost like he's vibrating. And he says, "We have an issue. Our younglings are disappearing. So those that near the time of the drinking seem to vanish, usually a week or so before their birthday. Many children fear the drinking. They think it's an end to fun. That is not so. We have much fun here." And his wife looks up. "That is correct. We have much fun here."
At what age do these children first partake of this drinking?
When they are 10 years old, they partake of the drinking.
Why?
Why? We all partake of the drinking. It is how we get our silver skin. We are immune to disease. No one dies. We are healthy and hale always, thanks to the miracle of the Titan.
Miracle, you say? No side effects at all?
No side effects at all. We live a happy and peaceful life.
If you say so.
When you say you never die, does that mean you are effectively immortal?
I am approaching my 3rd century. I am the oldest, but I feel as healthy as the day I took my drink.
So, what you're saying is you're running on pure speculation. No one has died yet.
Well, I mean, we are not immortal. People have died in the mines with accidents or attacks from bandits. But of age? No. Of disease? Certainly not.
Flavius kind of walks over towards Salazar's wife, and he's fascinated by the silvery sheen of her skin. He's almost studying her like a specimen, like something he wants to put into a jar, something he wants to take. And as he looks, silver to silver, and then the very human, full, supple lips, and the white nose. And he just gawks, staring, thinking this is perfection, the perfect melding between metal and organic.
Can I help you, sir? She says.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to stare. It's just odd to someone like me. In a way, it's beautiful. But it has to come with some kind of consequence. Why do you make your children wait till 10? Do they not have the constitution?
It has always been thus. On your 10th birthday, you take the drink. You begin to change. By the time you mature, the silver has begun.
What child would refuse such a gift? Or be fearful of receiving it?
It seems that many children think that once they take the drink, that they will change. That they will have
Truly.
no more fun.
Surely some are wiser than others. Some value their humanity.
Value the humanity. I am human, sir.
You say you're a human, yet you look like a machine.
I am not a machine, I can assure you.
If you say
Flavius.
so.
Flavius walks over, and there's a picture of this robotic-looking humanoid. And he just stares into it, and he says, "Is there really such a difference between the organics and the synthetics? Is there really such a difference between the ones and zeros of binary and the chemical impulses that make up our organic consciousness?" And he
Really?
thinks to the one-sided relationship of this Goliath holding up a people that are completely parasitic to it, and he wonders who the parasites really are.
Kira yawns rather noisily while lifting off her goggles, and she kind of like stretches her wings a little bit. I think humanity's a little overrated. So, can you tell me anything about the stuff around here? Terrain? Where you think these children might have been taken to, or where they might have ran off to?
Well, we are not sure. We have asked other children and they have told us nothing. They say that the children simply vanish. There is nearby a jungle, perfectly circular. Rather beautiful, actually. But in this jungle, well, we have heard rumors that there are apes there. Intelligent apes that have their own society. Sometimes we see them on the road outside. We think that they might have come here to take our children.
And you've never made contact with these peoples?
No, they seem to have no interest in speaking with us. We have tried, but they will not speak to us. They said that we are mechanical, and thus unnatural. This is untrue.
Well, you do look pretty scary, she says.
Do not be afraid, child. There is no danger here.
Shimo looks over to his partner and goes, "Well, you're no model yourself."
There is beauty in all things, but truly the silver is beautiful to all of us.
Surely
find
this
our
time could be better spent. Where are the children? Where were they last seen?
Well, it's been happening for several years now.
Several years, you say,
Several years, I say.
and you have yet to implement some form of countermeasure for your supreme gift.
We have been searching for the children. Where they have gone, I cannot say. We heard that you were in the area, so I sent a messenger to find you.
I'll say you've been doing a very poor job of searching for the children, sir, if I may be so bold. Several years and nary a result.
Your insults are not helpful to the situation.
It's not an insult, it's a glaring fact.
Several years is only a moment for someone who lives so long, I'm sure.
We like to take the long view here.
Has a child ever returned?
Not one. They go, and they are not seen again. We think that the apes could be eating them.
Apes.
The
Tell me,
ape?
what does an ape look like?
Like a man, but larger, more savage. Hairy. And you can see that, like, he has literally no hair anywhere on his body. And even though he speaks in a very kind of monotone sort of way, the inflection on hairy was a little bit like, eh.
I'll walk over to our resident botanist and friend Flavius, and just sort of maybe that's what the kids turn into if they don't drink.
They turn into apes.
Yeah.
Fascinating. If this is
Surely
true, I want one of
you
them.
gentlemen cannot be serious.
I must see these apes. I must
Have
tear
you
them
no
apart.
knowledge of the old things?
I have seen many things in my life that do not make sense. I would not call it impossible. Certainly unlikely. But not impossible.
See, Ragnar is a little put off by this, being basically a ranger of sorts. He's definitely looking at this man like he's a moron.
The children will not speak to us about their disappearances, but I feel they may know something. We have asked them many times, but they refuse. They say they don't know. Perhaps you will be able to find something out.
Can you give me some of the names of the children who are missing and maybe descriptions?
Most recently, a boy and a girl, both 8 years old, went missing. Johann and Gretel.
Do
When
have
you say
pictures?
Do we have pictures? I can show you in the silver. Follow me. And he like walks to the back of the room, and there's a bowl, and it's filled with, looks to be mercury. So it's like liquid silver. And he kind of looks for a second, and he dips his finger in, and he swirls it around for a little bit. And he concentrates, and the shape kind of coalesces into two children, like an embossed image of two children.
Do any of the children that he shows me using this method resemble him or his wife?
It's hard to know for sure, since he looks so alien in a way. He doesn't have any hair, no eyebrows, no anything like that. But if you wanted to maybe roll investigation, you could certainly try and figure out.
Okay. So what would I do for that?
So you basically roll d20. Also the difficulty. The difficulty is going to be a 12. So you need to beat a 12. If you want to apply effort, you can bring that down to a 6 or a 9.
I'll just go unmodified.
Okay.
15.
Okay. Yeah, so you do see some similarities in like the bone structure and stuff of the boy. Like they look similar enough. They both have kind of high cheekbones, strong jaws. Like this guy definitely was handsome, and kind of is now still, but he's made of silver.
Can I'm gonna unlatch one of my pockets that I have on an arm strap and pull out just a mass of clay and start whispering to the clay, "Come on, you can do this, right? Come, tell me you can do this. Look." And then I point the clay at the bowl of silver that has the children's two faces.
So the clay kind of like shivers for a bit, and then it takes the shape of Flavius, and you hear a sort of really tiny giggle as it does so.
Oh, again, son of a, get back in there. Put the clay back in the pocket. All right. Serious question though. By recently, is it within the 7 weeks or is it like yesterday?
It is within the past 2 weeks that they have gone missing.
So what you're saying for you, it's really recent.
Yes.
Like I look over at my allies and just like, this guy.
He tells you, Johann is my son. If you can find him, I would be very pleased. It would bring joy to me.
I would. This pool of like liquid, silvery substance. I'm going to try to employ my magnetism just to see if it is in fact a metal, if I can manipulate it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you pay an intellect for that, is that right?
I think so.
Okay, so mark off, like, reduce your intellect pool by 1. And, yeah, you kind of focus for a little bit, and you see the liquid start to vibrate a little bit, as if it's on top of a subwoofer. You know, it's just like little spikes start appearing in it, but you're unable to lift anything dramatic out of it.
Right, but it is some kind of metal, though. I'm assuming. Yeah. When I find that odd, though, I would think that I can't actually control it entirely, as if there's something off about it, like it's not wholly metal.
You probably think it's just very heavy.
It's dense. Is that what you're saying? Like it's just a bowl, right? So it's not a lot.
Yeah, it's a bowl, but you get the like, because usually any metal you're able to like lift a little bit, you know, but even the small amount you're unable to actually get it out of the bowl.
Interesting.
How much does that magnetism affect me?
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can narrate it, Bruce, if you want to. You can say what happens. It'll make basically things on you start to rumble and shake a little bit.
Where my metal is, Bruce, on my body, I have 2 syringes crossed on my back with these long, like, stainless steel handles. And then I have metal stuff in a bag I wear flipped over my trench coat.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely... He's straining, putting some effort into it, wondering why this small amount of metallic liquid won't succumb to his will. So he's definitely putting some force behind it, and you would notice as this is happening, his hand outstretched, fingers curled, that your various metallic devices and syringes seem to start to jangle back and forth, vibrate rapidly, and almost a small pressure force is pulling you towards Ragnar ever so slightly. Not enough to physically move you per se, but it's peculiar. You feel drawn to him as your metallic devices begin to kind of lift up slightly into the air, all aiming towards his direction.
It smells like ever so slightly escaped acetone from one of the syringes, and it smells once again like chemical fruit.
So Salazar says to you, if you could speak to the children, maybe find out what they know. I believe they are hiding something from us. Of course, you are welcome to go around town, speak to anyone you like. If you require any more help, I will be here. That will be all. Thank you. He just stands there waiting for you to leave, like perfectly still.
I'll go, my lady. Still looking at his wife, and turn around and exit.
Okay, so the town is pretty much at your command. Anywhere you want to go, you can go. What would your objective be at the moment? What would you like to try and do?
I suppose he was talking about the ape-like creatures. Too ignorant to do any real research into, old things. Not knowing that they're monkeys. So Ragnar would like to try and find out where in the area who might know something about where these things would be at exactly. Where the children might be running off to be allegedly getting devoured by these beasts.
Yeah, I mean, most towns in the Beyond would have an Eon Priest, and you could probably find him. He would be the guy who knows about Numenera, who knows about any sort of unusual goings-on in the area.
Mm-hmm. All right. That probably wouldn't be his first guess, because he definitely fancies them pretty idiots. So he's going to try and find someone who might have some more common sense, who just knows things about animals in general.
Well, yeah, looking around, you can see that the people in this town live by a really sort of strict routine. So, like, as you walk out of that building, one of your chronometers dings that it's noon, and out of like every building, people come and they walk in the same direction to an enormous building, which is a mess hall. They all go in there. Like,
Right.
Literally every building opens up, everybody goes there.
What's it like technologically, by the way, around here?
It's kind of so it's on a big black rock, and there are kind of seams of silver running through the rock. That's the ground you're standing on, and then you've got these silver buildings, and some of them are made of rock as well. Buildings all over the place. In terms of technology, you don't see much, but you feel like a sort of hum from the ground, and you figure they've got mining equipment down below.
Okay.
Because you know that they mine a lot of silver here.
Right. Yeah, I guess I'll just be, like I said, looking for information in general about the whereabouts of this stuff and trying to avoid these strange creatures. He doesn't consider them human anymore at this point.
I think Kira is going to go into the mess hall. I think we need to talk to some of the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
Flavius will accompany, but he'll kind of stay back. He's not good with kids.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too, but some of these adults are creeping me out now.
You get to the mess hall, and it's a pretty huge building. And inside, it's like neatly ordered tables with benches, and there's a queue of people getting food. And it's like alarmingly efficient. It's like a canteen, but there's no queue really. It's people just like go with their tray, and they just continue to walk, and by the end they've got a plate full of food, and they sit down at a table, and they eat kind of. There's no conversation. It's really quiet in the mess hall. Everybody's just eating or queuing. So pretty much as you get there, the last person finishes the queue, and everyone is sitting down eating.
All right. I'm gonna. Are they staying in family units or kind of just wherever they end up?
You notice
Can I
that
tell?
you notice that the people who are sitting together have similar badges. Everyone has a badge on them, and they all have similar badges. So you can see a table, and all the people there have a pickaxe on their badge, and you reckon they're miners, right? And then there's like another group of people who have like a book, and they're probably teachers, and similar. They're split into those sort of sections. So it seems to be by their occupation.
Okay, and the children have badges as well, and
The children
are
have no
born.
badges, and they are sitting at a separate table.
Okay, then I will approach the table, the kids' table.
Okay. So the kids kind of range from as young as 4 up until about 8 or 9. Um, you see a couple of kids who look a little bit older, and they already have badges, and you can see that the tips of their fingers are turning slightly silver, and they're sitting in a unit, and they've got like a pen on their badge, so they're obviously students. The kids at the table, they kind of look at you, and they kind of look back at their food for a second, and they look again, and a bit of whispering and stuff.
Excuse me, little ones, Kira says, and when they look up, she like stretches her wings really wide to kind of get their attention. You can touch them if you like. She gets closer.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Wow, yeah, and like a bunch of them like get up from their chairs and they're like, "Wow, wings! Wow, wow! Are you a fairy? Are you an angel? Wow!" They're all just like, "Wow!" and they're like running around and like a bunch of them are like jumping up and down, really excited.
I kind of single out one of them and I say, "Do you guys or do you know Johann or Gretel?"
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know Johann. Yeah, he's my friend.
Do you know where he went? By any chance? Can you tell me?
No.
While Kira was showing off her wings and everyone was sitting down eating, I just grabbed the tray and just threw some food on the tray and some drink, and I sit down at the table with the kids as well. Then I reach into my pocket, pull out the lump of clay, and just sit it next to the tray, and start eating anything that looks like it's actually organic.
Yeah. So the food is actually pretty nice. You don't have a clue where they're growing it, but it's a lot of mushrooms. And then you've got like, let's say, a couple of root vegetables and stuff like that. It's actually like pretty hearty, and it's definitely all natural. The kids are super excited by Kira and her wings.
I'm gonna like attempt a persuasion to try to get some more information out of this kid.
Sure. Difficulty is going to be 12.
Okay, and so I roll a d20, and if I'm not trained in it, it's just whatever I roll.
So yeah, so you can, if you want to, you can expend some effort to bring that down to a 9. So if you want to spend 3 of your intellect pool, then you can bring that down to a 9.
I didn't decide my flex skill for the day. Could persuasion be my flex skill?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm
9.
trained on it, and it brings the difficulty down, right?
Yeah, so it's a 9.
11.
Okay. So one of the kids says, "Well, I mean, you seem pretty cool, but I can't really say anything here because the grown-ups are here and they're not allowed to know. It's pretty secret."
Where can I meet you, little one?
Well, we have to go to school after lunch, so okay, well, here, okay, and he's like whispering like real conspiratorially, and a couple of them are leaning in like, "Oh, this is so exciting." Like, okay, I'm gonna ditch class, and they're like, and I'm gonna run out of class, and I'll meet you at the back of the school, okay, in like 1 hour.
Okay. She reaches over to like her wings and plucks one of the black feathers, and while she does it, she kind of bites her lip because it kind of hurts a little bit, and she hands it to him. She says, "For your troubles, little one."
Wow, it's so cool! And then they all like look at the feather and they're like, "Wow," like playing with it and stuff. Yeah. So then, just as that happens, one of the a man comes over and he says, "Excuse me, why are you speaking to the children? Who are you?"
I try to intercede as he comes up and asks that question. As I'm shoveling some of these mushrooms and other food with my right hand into my mouth and using my left hand to tickle the clay. Sorry, we didn't know where to sit. I mean, everyone had we're not metal, so I didn't want to be like the sore thumb sitting at your table. I'm sorry.
It is not a problem. We have a table for guests. If you would like to sit there, you are more than welcome. And he points at an empty table, like in the corner at the back.
No, yeah, no, all right, come on. Grabs the lump of clay and his tray, and he's like, this food is pretty good. Starts walking to the empty table.
Okay.
Kira stands up and I guess grabs a tray and goes and sits at the table, munches some mushrooms.
Okay.
Flavius is just watching this whole scene of the lunchroom and is amazed at the hive-like behavior of these insectoid parasites. How they've divided themselves up into classes, how they work together to defend their young. It just sickens him.
Now, you keep saying insectoids. I'm just curious. They are human, right? Or is this just your train of thought?
No, they're human.
Yeah, they look like humans, but a lot of them, like not all of them, are like totally silver, but some of them are totally head to toe silver. Most of them have just silver hands that you can see anyway.
I just wanted to make sure, like, I didn't miss something, and this is just how this guy thinks.
Yeah.
If you want to see into his psychology, he thinks that these people are metaphoric parasites, that they're vermin. They sicken him, they're living off of something that's just a completely higher life form than them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, just in a different manner of speaking.
So you guys are able to go to that table and enjoy some food. It's actually really nice. And then basically half an hour after noon, a bell chimes and everybody simultaneously stands up and goes out of the building. Back to work.
When everybody leaves, Shimo goes back up for seconds.
You see the people in the canteen are like cleaning and stuff. Can I help you, sir?
That food is pretty good. I'd hook it up. And he's shoving the tray over.
One moment, please. And the girl goes back into open the little door, and you see a couple of people standing back there, and there's a bit of a conversation, kind of. She comes out with like a bowl with some mushrooms. Enjoy.
So I'll grab the bowl and start picking at them. It's pretty good.
From my habits of exploring higher vantage points, would I kind of have an idea where the school is? Do I have to go search for it?
Yeah, you would have seen it. It's one of the other larger buildings. So you saw that like the younger kids, they spend a lot of their time outside, kind of playing, running around. You get somebody coming out and talking to them, but it's like much more informal. But all the older kids kind of go into the building, and they leave in regiments, and they enter in regiments.
Okay. When Kira finishes, she'll, take her trade to the workers, or put it in the bin or wherever it goes. And we're gonna meet that kid at the school, she says to the other guys, or I am at least, and she heads out.
I'll accompany Kira part of the way, but my character is way, way too suspicious looking to like be around a school. I'm just saying it's gonna create like a scene or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm following. I'm following Flavius. I've pocketed a few of the mushrooms that I went back for seconds for, and knowing how skilled he is in botany and knowledge of plant life, I'm just trying to see if what's up with these things. Those creepy guys are too creepy to be able to make things this good. Like there's got to be something going on.
You see like Flavius hook a little bit of a grin, and he says, "You noticed I wasn't eating, did you? Those mushrooms you're eating are grown out of human shit."
He starts dropping the mushrooms on the floor. Just oh.
If you want to do a check, you can try and figure out what's going on with these mushrooms. You have biology, right?
Yeah, I do. So that's just a d20?
Yeah, difficulty is going to be it's going to be a 15 for this one, so it's going to be quite tricky.
Okay.
So if you want to expend intellect to lower it, you can. Your edge is in intellect, so it'll cost you 2 points of intellect to bring it down to a 12.
So that would be for how much intellect expended?
For 2.
For 2?
Usually you expend 3, but because your edge is in intellect, you can do it for 2. Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
you
do
also
it.
have a skill in biology, so it'll, yeah, I forgot about that, thank you. You have a skill in biology, so that lowers it by 3 as well. So you actually, it would be a 12, and then if you expend, it'll be a 9.
I'll go against the 12 without
Okay.
expending anything.
Mhm.
Come on, big money. Oops. My roll. 7.
Okay. So you're looking at it, and you're doing your usual tests, and it just seems to be like a grand mushroom. You figure that it's definitely grown underground, um, probably down in the mines somewhere, or in places that used to be mines, now probably used for growing funguses and stuff like that. Okay. Um, Kira, you're able to get to the school, and you're standing there maybe a couple of minutes, and then the little boy runs out, and you see him like with his back to a wall, trying to be like a spy. You know, he's like to the wall, and then he like sees, and he does like a tumble, a really really slow tumble, like trying to get super sneaky on the way over to you.
Okay.
And then he gets there, and he says, "Hi, okay, okay, like, okay. I have to ask you some questions before I can tell you anything."
Ask away, little one.
Okay. What's more fun, starting work or finishing work?
Starting work.
Okay. Okay. What's more fun, dancing or being like really productive?
Dancing.
Okay. Do a little dance.
Excuse me?
Just do a little dance.
Prove it.
She does a little dance. Kicks her legs out, like kind of like flutters her wings a little bit.
Okay. Good. He claps. He's like, okay. I had to ask you those because the grown-ups here don't dance. They never dance. They don't do that. So you're not like a spy or anything. I had to make sure. So lots of us don't want to drink the drink because when people drink the drink, they become really boring. They become really really boring, and it's boring, and I don't like it. We don't like it. So
And
some of us run away.
where do you run to?
Well, there's like a secret tunnel that we know, and if you go through the tunnel, you get to the jungle, and then they run away to there. I don't know. I haven't gone yet, but that's what Josh said, or Johan said.
Oh, okay. Where is this tunnel?
I can show you.
All right. I would like that.
Okay. So he like starts to walk, and again he's like sticking to walls and occasionally like doing a tumble because he thinks he's a spy. And it's not far from the school. It's like it's pretty inconspicuous. It's like there's like this wooden board leaning against part of the cave wall, and he just like peeks around the back of it and like lifts it, and there's just like a little crack in the wall there. And he says, if you go down there and you keep walking, you get to go to the jungle.
Why don't the adults know about this tunnel?
I don't know. They didn't say. We keep it secret.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't see it.
Thank you, little one. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I like your dance, so you dance. We can dance sometime.
Certainly. Certainly.
Okay. I have to go back to school. Bye. And he runs away.
I'll gather up the crew. Unless they're, busy. In that case, I'll just kind of join.
I'm just like leaning in this alleyway with Shimo, and my hand goes down into the bag I'm carrying over my trench coat, and you see me pull out a white six-fingered glove. And I pull it up to my nose, and you see my eyes roll back in ecstasy as I start sniffing the inside of it. And my hand like tremors as I do it. And I have a quick flashback to where I'm sitting in the dark corner of a bar, watching a lady drink the six fingers.
Okay.
That wasn't creepy at all.
No, not at all.
So Kira arrives to the rest of you. And she informs you, I guess, right?
Yeah, so the kids are taking this tunnel. They don't want to drink the silver stuff, and so they're taking this tunnel to the jungle. But the little boy I spoke with, he didn't know exactly what happens after that point. But I know where this tunnel is. I think it's a good jumping off point.
Yeah, that's on as Flavius sniffs the glove. I just turn to go, dude, sometimes you're worse than the clay.
I just pull it down, and
then as I say that, you see the pouch strapped to my arm start moving around frantically.
I point down at the pouch and I say, "What's with you in that clay?"
I'd rather not get into that.
No, please tell. I find it fascinating. And you see me hold up a magnifying glass, and my eye gets really big as I look at you.
I jump back and quickly take 2 steps to the left. I'm like, dude, creepier than the metal dudes. So, you were
Sorry.
surrounded by weirdos. Anyway, yeah, something about a tunnel.
I think we should go explore it.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some shade. It's really hot out there. Rubs his sweat off his forehead.
Yeah, the whole place kind of feels like a forge. It's like the floor is really, or the ground is really hot or warm anyway. It's like black stone and it's really warm, and you feel that there's like stuff underneath that's making a lot of heat. So yeah, you guys can go into the tunnel. Are you just going to open the thing and walk in, or are you going to try and be sneaky about it?
Before entering, Kira pulls out a leather case, and it's like all these different little like colored squares, and she like puts on a stripe of pink, yellow, and green on her cheeks, on each cheek, and then closes it back up and puts it in her pack, and then she's gonna open it. How tall is the tunnel?
It's probably about 5 foot at its height and maybe 3 foot across. It's pretty tight.
Okay, so we'd have to duck and stuff, but we wouldn't necessarily have to crawl.
No.
I'm gonna scout up ahead. See what's down here. I would say stay about 60 feet behind me.
Okay.
You can fit in there okay with your wings?
If I don't open them, but that doesn't look like I can glide in here anyways.
Right.
So, yeah, you're able to go up ahead, and it gets a little bit tighter as you continue. You're going to have to like turn sideways to squeeze through some of the parts, and it varies in size. It goes like down and up, and eventually you have to crawl for a little bit, and then you get up again, and it goes on for quite some distance. You're able to go through it pretty easily. You're in it for about 2 hours. And then up ahead you see a light, and it slopes upwards. And as you approach the exit, you see that it's like a desert, and you're coming out of a rock, like a big boulder.
Yeah, as we're crawling in this tunnel, and we're staying behind Kira. In preparation, I sort of pull the clay out of my pouch and just put it on my shoulder and says, don't give me a hard time. I'm gonna need you to watch my back. And I start crawling through the tunnel with them.
When you exit the tunnel, sorry, go ahead. You gonna say something?
I'm gonna check the desert sands for tracks.
Yeah. So as you exit, it is a desert, and you can see up ahead, maybe like another hour away, you can see the jungle. Right, it's like perfectly circular, and it rises up pretty high. There's a pretty high tree canopy. It's almost like a dome of a jungle that you can see up ahead, but it's a bit of a walk away. You'll have to do, what would we call it? Tracking, investigate, maybe.
I'm trained at identifying and finding tracks.
Okay,
So.
perfect. Okay, because of the shifting sands and stuff like that, it's going to be quite tough. It would have been a 15, but it'll be a 12 for you because you're trained.
That's a natty 1.
Okay, so you have absolutely no idea. The sand has shifted all over the place. Seemingly, there's no visible tracks of any kind.
It's safe to assume they ran to this jungle.
Yeah, exiting the cave on the other side and seeing this desert, feeling the burning sun beating down on me. You can see the tank top Shimo is wearing is just starting to get soaked in sweat. He's like, "Oh, I can't stand this." Then the clay is mimicking the wiping of the forehead, and it starts just in its amorphous form, starting to wave around and jut around and almost jump on the shoulder. Yeah, what's that? And lean over and go, hold up, where's Ragnar? I start looking around.
I'll tell you where he's not.
Please do.
Go on. It's all about that suspense. Last I knew, I was still trying to find out if anybody knew anything about this local wildlife.
You didn't go with them?
No, I said I was looking for someone who
Okay.
knew about the apes, and I was not holding my breath about it either.
Okay, you are back at town. You're looking around. You can probably find a hunter or something like that in town. You reckon that these people do have to get their food from somewhere. So you're able to find like a building that's got a bow and arrow on the front. You reckon that's where the people who hunt hang out.
Right, stereotyping. Yeah, so I'll kind of nod my head in approval at the bow and arrow, and then go in and soak up the sight, see if I can find someone who looks knowledgeable, maybe not a tin man.
Okay, so you enter the building and there's two dudes in there. One of them, you can see he's wearing like a tank top, and you can see that pretty much just up to his shoulders is silvery. And he is currently fletching some arrows. And then there's another guy, and only the tips of his fingers, he's quite young, are silver. And they say, well, one of them says, "Hello, welcome. What can I do for you, sir?"
You can lose that tone for starters.
What tone are you speaking about, sir?
You know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm not even sure. He kind of says under his breath, like, I wonder if they even have emotions.
My tone is
Is
neutral,
that-
sir.
Yes, I've noticed, along with everybody else's.
Can I do something for you, sir?
Yeah. I'll leave those questions for another time. Do you know anything about the local wildlife? Where do you procure meat? And if so, where do you get it from?
Sometimes we hunt on the desert outside.
Hmm.
Sometimes we hunt in the mines below.
The mines below, you say. What lurks in the mines below?
Many creatures lurk in the mines below, sir. Mostly small lizards.
Small lizards.
They're an excellent source of protein.
Mostly implies there's something else down there. Pray do tell.
There are many things in the depths below. We have seen bizarre creatures.
I feel like you're ducking the question.
Sir, what is your name? Can I help you with something? Or are you simply here to ask questions?
Uh, my name. I'm just passing through. I am searching for the lost children. It was brought to my attention that there may be some wildlife involved, um, allegedly, and I wanted to get the lay of the land, procure as much knowledge as I can about said, and he makes air quotes, beasts, before I go search for your children.
There are many creatures in the jungle, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It is
I'm talking large, hairy, bestial men, apes. Are those around here? And if so, is there anything peculiar about these?
Yes, there are apes in the jungle, sir. Many of them. They sometimes come out. They
Mm-hmm.
have occasionally been aggressive, but mostly they just look and then leave.
They look. How often does this happen?
He thinks for a second. 4 times.
It's happened 4 times
Yes, sir.
total.
Yes, sir.
When did this start happening?
Before I was born, sir.
How old are you?
That's a very personal question, sir. How old are you?
279.
That seems very unlikely.
I see. What? You can't prove that I'm not.
That is correct. I am 38 years old, sir.
Mm. So 38 years ago this started happening? At
Before I
least
was born, sir.
since before you were born? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Is there
Where's
something
the
I can do for you?
Yeah, point me in the direction of this jungle. You've been a real help.
If you leave the town up into the desert, and you walk due north for about 2 hours, maybe 3, you can't miss it, sir. It's very large.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll be off then. You take care. You need to
Too.
you calm it down a little bit too. You're too uppity. He's gonna leave.
Very humorous, sir.
Was it? Oh no, I didn't get a chuckle or nothing.
Okay.
Ragnar's gonna leave, and he loathes this place with a passion. Not only are they impeccably foolish, he feels, they can't even answer a simple damn question. They're all monotonous, monotone zombies. These kids are onto something. I'm just going to head off
What's your plan?
where my plan is, I guess. I'm not even sure if I should believe if he knows the right freaking direction. But I got nothing else to go on, so I'm going to head off towards the desert. How do I get down? How did I get up here? The ladder?
You're actually down. So the desert, right, is like above, and then there's like a sort of canyon that goes down, and the Colossus is standing in the canyon, and he's pushing against the other side. So it's actually like a bunch of rocks that they've carved steps into that lead up to the actual desert.
All right, well, I guess we'll begin that precarious climb.
Okay. As you're leaving, the Salazar is walking around town and he sees you.
So that was the guy
main
we
guy.
talked to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, "Friend, I forgot to offer you a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Deeply unusual. It's a very stressful time. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking straight.
Indeed.
If you and your friends are able to find our children and bring them back to us, we will provide you with 200 shins each." So that is an exorbitant amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like totally ridiculous. And he says, in addition, we also have several items of Numenera that we could part with for this. It is very important that we find our children.
Of course, absolutely. Children are, the minds of tomorrow, or perhaps not, at the rate this place is going.
Is that a veiled insult?
You can take it, how you will. Your mileage may vary as to what an insult is or is not. I am curious, though. Could I get some of this silver juice?
You wish to partake of the drinking?
No, I wish to have some that I may drink at my leisure if I so choose.
That is forbidden.
Why? Who makes these rules?
We drink directly from the Titan.
From the teat of the Titan itself?
Quite so. We do not take the liquid away.
In consuming it, do you not take it away?
We absorb it into ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Where do you get it from?
From the Titan.
Right, where at?
Inside the Titan.
How does public knowledge, like how to get inside this Titan? Or
No.
it's not, oh. How does one get inside the Titan?
One has to be a miner.
Where do you sign up to be a miner?
It is not for outsiders.
You don't like additional laborers?
No.
Productivity is not an important thing to you?
Productivity is extremely high.
Imagine how much higher it would be with one more individual.
The gains would be very marginal.
But gains they would be nonetheless. All right, Pablo. I got to
Salazar.
Salazar. Right. Zachnafine, absolutely. I'll let you know what I find out. I got places to go. You guys creep me out. I'm in. Ragnar turns and leaves. Not waiting for any response at all. He does not want to be in this place anymore. These guys are freaking creepy, man.
Salazar is just like shaking his head. What an odd human. And then he walks away.
It's not like I expected him to get angry.
Okay, so you want to walk towards the jungle as well?
Yeah.
Okay. It'll take you a couple of hours, but since basically they went off to do their thing at the same time that you went off to do this, you'll arrive roughly the same time. So you guys, when you exit the boulder, you see that there's kind of a path almost through the desert, or a path of least resistance anyway, going in the direction of the jungle.
Leaving that tunnel to me is almost like a second breathing experience because it's so compact and hot, and my guy's like completely sweating through the trench coat. I'm just like bathed in liquid, and I'm squeezing my way out of that opening into the light. And just like a baby for the first time, I just fall onto my knees, and I'm like almost crying because it was like such an arduous trek.
Yeah, it's pretty exhausting. The whole place is like, it was really like uncomfortable and really hot. And now you get out and it's still pretty hot in this desert. But it's definitely, there's some more fresh air. So continue along the road, or the path I should say. Up ahead there's a man, and he's like kneeling in the shade of a palm tree that's just in the middle of this desert. and it's kind of the palm tree is in the shade of quite a large dune. And as you approach, he says, "Hello there. Alms for the poor."
All Shimo just says is, "Ah, shade," and then just runs into the shade.
I've met
Kira
up
reaches
with
in.
him.
Oh.
Just out of curiosity, I just want to make sure I've met up with him at this point, have I not?
Not yet.
Not okay.
Kira reaches into her pocket and hands him 2 shins.
Thank you. It's very generous. Those are some nice wings you have there. So he stands up. I'm going to need all of your money.
This guy.
I slouch over and start walking towards them really slowly with this maniacal look on my face. Have you ever wondered what you would look like crucified to a board inside of a bottle?
No, I haven't. Give me your money or I'll kill you.
Kira pulls out her whip.
He goes,
I'll give you a good lashing.
He goes, boys, boys, boys. He draws basically a club, and he's like shouting, boys, 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 come quick. And you see a group of people kind of rushing over the top of the dune, kind of sliding down it. Some of them have goat legs. Some of them are people, but some of them have goat legs. One of them actually has the head of a goat, but a human body, big muscly guy. And they're like charging down this dune.
Yeah, Shimo shakes his head. He's like, turns over to the lump of clay. Goes, well, it really was getting a little too hot out here anyway. He breathes in, and as he starts breathing out, you start seeing smoke, but not like cigarette smoke, more like how your breath looks in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
As his breath starts to get real cold, and all the beads of sweat all over his body begin to ice up and crystallize. And then starting from his eyes, they turn a crystal blue, and rapidly throughout his entire body, he starts to freeze over. And after he's done freezing over, he just shakes the frost off, and then you see his entire body is now ice. And you can see through the translucency his skeleton.
Nice.
And
Wearing a sheen of ice, you might say.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So we're going to roll initiative. So what you guys do is you roll d20, and if you beat their challenge rating, you'll go before them.
Got a 5.
18?
Nice.
15.
And then Flavius last. Okay, Shimo, your first act. There's about 10 of them rushing down this dune, and one guy kind of in front of you.
The guy in front of me, I go up to my forehead as if to wipe off the sweat, and all that's left is just the frozen crystals of sweat, and then I just wipe them off, and you see a few of them fall to the ground and melt, but go like this, and then just flick my wrist at them, tossing dozens of crystals of ice at them, and what I'm doing is just using the onslaught power.
Okay. So this guy is a 6, so you just need to beat a 6 to hit him.
3.
Okay, so you miss. You fling it out, and he just like ducks underneath these shards of ice that you're throwing at him. Kira, you're next.
You see the little clay on my shoulder. It bounces up and goes.
Kira pulls her arm up and flicks her wrist, and her whip, which looked like one strand, is like actually like 6 tails, and she lashes out at the dude in front of her.
Okay. So your target's a 6.
That's a 10.
Okay. So you connect. What kind of weapon is it? Is it a medium?
It's a light weapon.
Okay. So light weapon does 2 damage. Bam. Okay. So they're going to go. The one in front is going to just swing at Shima with his club. So you need to dodge. I don't roll any dice. So you need to dodge. You're going to make a speed defense roll. Tsushima.
Total brain fart. 14.
Okay, yeah, you easily jump out of the way, and he like tries to swing for you, and you're gone before he even finishes the swing. The rest of them up on the hill, they're just like kind of half falling down this dune, but the one guy with the goat head, he's like barreling down it, and he's going to try and smack into Kira. So you're going to make a speed defense to jump out of the way. Your target's a 9.
I'm trained in it, so does that
Okay.
go down to 1?
It'll go
Okay.
down. Yeah, it'll go. So it's actually a 6 then.
And that is a 5, so I'm
Okay.
hit anyways.
Yeah, you're going to take 5 points of damage to your might pool.
Okay.
Okay, the rest of them are just continuing to run down this dune. Then it's Flavius.
Okay, so them just pounding down the edge of this dune. I can hear their footsteps, and it sounds like battle drums. And you see me pull off of my back, Xing them in the air, 2 gigantic stainless steel-handled syringes. And you smell once again that chemical fruit and its death. And I push the pressurizer, and you see a little bit of acetone squirt out of the ends. And I lunge forward with a thrusting attack and try to stab this vagabond in the heart.
Nice. So your target is a 6.
13.
Okay, so it's a medium weapon, right? So that's 4 damage you do to him.
Yep.
That's pretty.
And
good.
I'm using thrust, so my might goes down to an 11, and it takes it up to 5.
Wow, nice. Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna take him out. So if you want to describe it.
Yeah, so as I thrust forward with this syringe, you see it pierce his chest cavity and hit presumably where his heart would be. And I just empty the back of it, and you can see his eyes go white. And in my mind, what I'm seeing is the butterfly going limp when I stabbed it in the thorax. And I'm just
Nice.
wishing I had a bottle big enough to put this piece of shit in.
So he like basically just falls backwards off the syringe and falls dead to the ground. You can see these guys. They're kind of like Mad Max style, right? They've got all leather and like mohawks and like gas masks and all sorts of weirdness, right? All their weapons are just like clubs and wrenches and stuff like that. Apart from the one goat man who has a sword. Okay, so this is where Ragnar appears. You come up on the scene and you see that there's like a bunch of guys running down a dune. And you see the guys in the shade of a tree. Pretty much having a fight.
Okay. Do I recognize any of them as the people that were also in the strange city with me?
You recognize your friends, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How far away are they?
You can get to them.
Okay. All right. Ragnar will pull out his large sword, hoist it up on his shoulder, and run, and leap high into the air, and come down with a mighty chop, looking to cleave one of these bastards in twine.
So the only one at the actual party now is the big goat man. The
All
others
right.
are too slow, they're still on the hill.
Okay. So yeah, I will leap at him and see if I can cut him in half. Now, trying to remember what the roll is for that.
You just roll d20, and you hit the target for hitting him is a 9.
All right. Well, can't you can add your edge or something, can't you?
You can expend effort to bring it down to a 6. So you would spend. Is your edge and might?
Yeah, might and speed.
Okay, so you would expend 2 might to bring it down to a 6.
Oh yeah, I can. That's not a big deal. I can do that. Okay. All right. So subtract 2, and what? Ho!
Okay, you connect. So you've got a heavy weapon, yeah, with your big sword.
Yep, that's 6.
That's 6. Okay. Are you using any of your abilities? Oh, you have to set before you act. So okay, so this guy, you're gonna smash into him with your sword.
So yeah,
Crumbling through.
you have to spin those before you act, though, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you want to do like
Your
thrust or bash or
combat
something. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you 6. Okay, yeah, so you crash through his shoulder armor a little bit and cut into his shoulder, and he kind of like jumps out of the way. Okay, so back to the top. Shimo, you're up again.
The guy that just jumped out of the way that's within melee range.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, Flavius
Okay.
killed him.
Oh, who did Ragnar just charge?
The goat man.
Okay, well then,
The guy who jumped out of your way. That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, the goat man is within reach.
yeah, the goat man. So basically, you'll see Shimo just, turn around, scolding his the clay on his shoulder. Don't do that to me. Watch. And he raises his hand, and then he clenches it, to try to freeze the blood of this fresh wound. And he's doing onslaught again.
Okay, sweet. So your target's a 9.
18.
Nice.
So,
Okay, that's not only a
yeah.
success; it's a big success. So you do an extra 2 points of damage on top of what you usually do.
It'd be 4, so 6
Okay.
points.
Nice. Okay, very good.
So
Yeah,
you see the blood in
ahead.
his wound just sort of the blood in his wound it starts to move and then it blows out into just dozens of little spikes and freezes in place. Some of the spikes you see jut out of areas around the wound that weren't part of the initial wound.
Yeah, he in agony. Okay. Next is
Yeah.
Kira.
He turns back to the clay. He's like, "See, just give me time."
Is big guy still up? Goat head?
He's still up. Yeah.
Okay. Kira brings her whip arm down. Kia! She yells and she whips him again. And that's a 13.
Okay. Nice. That's a hit. So your whip is a light weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you like whoosh, whip into him, but it like hits a bit of his armor, and like it should have been doing damage, but you think his armor just blocked it.
Okay.
Then it's their turn. So this goat man, seeing Ragnar as the biggest threat, turns around and tries to swing with his sword. So you need to make a speed defense, and your target is 9.
Okay. You know what? We'll just see. We'll just take it as is.
Nice. Okay. So you totally jump out of the way, and I'm going to say he overbalances when he does so because you are way too swift for him, even though you're pretty big. So he's going to be on the ground as he falls because you succeeded so much. The rest of the guys now are getting to you. So there are 9 of them barreling down the hill. So 3 of them are going to run up to Ragnar and all try and swing for him. So you're going to need to make 3 speed defense rolls.
Fuck. All right. I'm thinking if I want to use some speed edges or not. Fuck it. I got big armor. We'll just roll with it. It's 1, 2, and 3.
Nice. Okay, you dodge them all,
Is
and
that how you play this game?
that's how you play this game. Yeah, that's good. Um, so like the first one runs at you with like a wrench, and he swings, and you're just like whoosh, out of the way. The next one runs up with like a big two-handed sort of club, looks like a tree branch, and swings it, and you're gone. And he just like hits the ground with it, and he like drops it out of his hands. And then the last one tries to swing little shitty knife at you, and just isn't able to get through your armor. Um, Another two of them are going to run at Kira. So you're going to need to make 2 speed defense rolls. So these guys only have a 6, so you're just going to need to get a 3 on these.
16 and a 6.
Okay, you dodge both times. Way too quick for these guys. These guys are clearly not fantastic warriors. 2 more rush past Kira towards Flavius, seeing this freak with the syringes. Going to try and mess him up. So 2 speed defense rolls from you, please.
Okay. I'm trained in speed as well.
Oh, so you just need a 3 then.
19 and a 2.
Okay, so the first guy swings. Well, it kind of looks like just like a claw hammer, just like swings it at you. But you like dodge out of the way, and he like swings it into the guy next to him, hitting him in the shoulder. But that guy is already thrust with his little shitty dagger, and you're gonna take where is it? 4 points of damage to your might pool.
Okay, so when the dagger like pierces my coat and into my flesh, I start to black out a little bit, and I imagine myself being held by 2 gigantic gloved hands, each of them with 6 fingers, and they're caressing me and just holding me lovingly. And I like sway a little bit, and then I come back into my consciousness, and I am fucking pissed.
Nice. So the final 2 rush towards Shimo. These guys both have just like almost like hunting knives, not even combat knives, and they're both going to swing for you. So you need to make 2 speed defense rolls.
A 9 and 18.
Okay, so you dodge them both. The first one just misses. The second one, he like stabs you, but your ice armor like knocks the knife out of his hand, so he's disarmed. Okay, then it's going to be Flavius's turn.
Flavius goes down to the knife and just rips it out, and organic oil just spills out of the bloody hole in his machine. And you see him raise the syringe up, and the sun reflects on the tip of it, and once again you smell that chemical fruitiness, and he stabs down at the neck of this assailant.
Okay, sweet. So you just need to make an attack roll.
It's going to be 9.
Okay, that's a hit. So it's 4 damage?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so this is the guy who got smacked with the hammer, right? And he is now done. Again, just murdered by this horrible liquid that you put in him.
Yeah, so you see it just impale him, going through the jugular, out the middle of his back. And his arms go lifeless and fall to the side. And I actually force him down with a trembling shoulder, put my boot on the middle of his chest, and kick him off.
Nice. Okay, Ragnar, it's your turn.
Alright, so there's 3 of them around me, and the big goat man is still up, or?
Big Gutman's still up, yeah, and there's 3 around you.
Yeah, sweet. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, those are useless. Oh, no. I'll activate my retaliation nodule. My cipher.
Okay.
Now, to be clear, if I do that, I can't attack, right?
Well, it depends on what it says. I think it's yeah, I think you activate it and that's your action for the turn. But I will check.
Right. I'm not exactly sure what page that's on.
Neither am I.
Well,
God damn it, Bruce. Can't just swing a sword, no?
what? No, man. It's not that simple.
It's just nothing but Kickstarter backers at the back of this book.
Is your name in there?
No, unfortunately not. Okay, I'll say it takes an action to activate it. I'm just not going to check it up.
Okay.
So you flick it up. What does it do?
For the yeah, he'd pull out this device and smack it onto his armor, and it adheres there, and a hum starts to emanate from it, and electricity, little pieces of blue, sparks of electricity arc around his armor. And for the next 28 hours, anyone striking armor is shocked and takes 1 electrical damage.
Oh, nice. Okay. Sweet. Okay, then it's going to be Shimo's turn again.
All right. You start to see the little clay blob again bouncing around, tweaking, and Shimo tilts his head to listen to it. Oh, yeah. Extends his hand out and blows into his hand. The coolness of his breath just, showing its form in the heat of the desert sun. But then the breath begins to blow out and billow out, and it starts rolling. Little crystals like snowflakes starting to fall off as the breath is finding its way to Ragnar. And then as it touches Ragnar, a small sheen of ice starts to grow on his arm and then across his body. I'm basically reactivating my ice armor, and
Okay.
he's in tune with it.
So he gets +1 armor, yeah?
So he gets +1 armor.
Nice.
And then he turns around and smiles at the 2 goatmen standing before him. Nice, huh?
They're like, freak!
They're
One of them says freak, and the other one goes, man!
Well, once he says freak, the piece of clay is literally jumping up and down on the shoulder, and a miniature facsimile of a hand pops out, pointing at the goatmen, and starts wiggling its finger.
Okay, Kira, you're next.
Kira's gonna jump back, and as she jumps, she kind of like uses her wings like open and like kind of push forward to give her some momentum. And as she's in the air, she drops the whip and draws her bow. And I'm moving to short range back.
Okay.
And I'm actually firing at the goat man.
Okay, sure. So go ahead and roll.
16.
Okay, yeah, that'll connect. And the bow is a medium weapon?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, he's still up. An arrow thuds into him, just into his shoulder. Meh! It's like the least intimidating type of animal to be, I think. Yeah, but he's a big guy.
I don't know, man.
Okay, so there you go. This goat man, kind of furious at the whole situation, and seeing that while Ragnar isn't actually killing anybody, Flavius is killing a lot of them, he's going to run over to him and try and attack him. So go ahead and roll a speed defense.
Okay, so I'm trained in it again.
Okay, so you just need ooh, this guy's better. So yeah, you need a 6.
Come on, man. 8.
Nice. Okay. So he swings this kind of serrated, rusty sword at you in an upward arc, but you like jump back just in time. So then the 2 guys or the one guy who's also engaged with you is going to swing at you as well. So go ahead and roll another one. This one's only a 3 you need.
Critical fail.
Okay. So this guy, he's got this lead pipe, and he like swings it at your knee, and he connects. So you'll take 4 might damage, and you'll be knocked on your ass as your knee buckles under the pressure.
Damn.
Just hear the sound of snapping cartilage.
So then we've got the 3 on Ragnar. So Ragnar, go ahead and roll 3 speed defenses.
Alright. This is my favorite part. Alright, that's shit.
That's a hit. That's a miss. What was the last one?
An 8.
Okay, so one of them connects. He'll do 4 damage, but you have how much armor?
I believe 3. Medium armor is 2, right? Plus the ice.
There we go. Okay, so you'll take 1 point of might damage,
Ooh.
and then he takes a point of electrical, right?
Yep, because fuck that guy.
So he swings his hammer at you, and he connects and like hits you in a weak point, but it also like electrocutes him for a second. You see his mohawk that was already on end kind of like fizzle out.
Kind of lift my hand up, extend one finger, and wiggle it back and forth like
So the 2 that were fighting Kira see her fly up into the air, and they're like, "What the fuck?" So 2 of them take out tomahawks, throw them. So you're going to need to make speed defenses. It's just a 3 that you need.
Uh, 15.
Okay.
And a 2.
So one of them goes way wide, but as you're dodging that one, the other one connects, just kind of skims past you, cuts a little bit of your thigh off, and you'll be taking 4 points of might damage.
Yeesh.
Mm.
Okay.
And then we've got the 2 on Shimo, who are both going to just at the same time lunge forward and try and strike you.
A 4 and an 8.
Okay, so one of them will hit. No, you don't die when your might is depleted. You have to lose all your stuff to die properly. So like you run out of might points, then it's speed, and then it's intellect. Yeah, one of them connects. You'll take 4 points of might damage, but it's reduced by your armor, whatever that is.
I have armor of 3.
Okay, there we go. So he only take 1. Okay, then it's Flavius' turn.
Okay. What's the penalty for being on the ground?
It's just pretty inconvenient.
So I can still like attack from it, from like being
Yeah,
on the ground.
I think you can just spend your movement getting up.
Okay. Oh, so it's not possible to make an attack from the ground?
I'm not sure. I'll let you do it, but I'll increase your difficulty by 1 or something.
Yeah.
Attack
Okay.
the ground.
For my banishing nodule, it says it randomly teleports.
Yes.
Does it teleport something to an open like area, or is it possible to teleport something into solid matter?
It is now. It's definitely possible.
All right.
I like the sound of that.
So, as I'm laying on the ground, I see white moths floating all over. I'm pretty badly wounded. And you see these 2 large tubes coming out of the front of my trench coat, hooking to my back, shoot full of green liquid. I'm going to use my stem,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to use my banishing nodule and thrust forward from the ground up with my syringe and try to stab him, injecting all of the special acetone.
Wow.
The
nice.
centaur. Or the, not centaur, but goat.
Mhm. So it actually stim reduces it by 3, so you automatically succeed. So yeah, he teleports away. What would be really interesting? Okay, he teleports away. You like hit him with it, and he just like a pop, and then with like a weird pop and a smell of ozone, he appears. And you see at the tree that he appears next to it, but his right leg, is inside the tree, and he's just like howling in agony as his leg has been like teleported into this tree and it's been crushed.
So I just drop this empty syringe and fall back on my back.
A bunch of the bandits are like, "What the hell? Oh my god, magic!" Seeing the goat guy getting bashed around so much, who was their leader, some of them are going to try and turn tail and run, probably. Ragnar, it's your turn.
No mercy. I will try to cleave one in half. To keep it simple this time for you, buddy. And I will be using thrust, and I have my edge of 1, and it cost 1, so I can do that for free.
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Okay, so you miss, unfortunately. You swing your sword, and it like bites into the ground, and the guy is gone out of the way. Shimo.
Well, that was disappointing.
All right, I'm going to basically do this. It's going to be an onslaught, and I'll describe it afterwards.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's he goes he raises his hand, and then you see just the air around him start to cool and start to turn to ice, and then he takes this hit, and as he reels back from the hit, it looks like water comes out, and it freezes almost instantly, and when he goes to grab his wound, the water just shatters.
Nice.
And then you hear the clay right on his shoulder, right above the rune, go.
So Kira, Angel of Death.
Kira aims. She's aiming at the guy who hit her with a tomahawk. The two pupils in her dominant, her aiming eye, they're both like fluctuating separately, bigger, smaller, until she locks on.
Nice.
And she lets loose an arrow. For 7.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit a bandit. Okay, yeah, it connects. It does 4, and it just pierces his throat, and he falls down to the ground dead.
Yes. She
Uh,
has 2 pupils?
yeah, in each eye.
That's crazy. That's gross.
So the bad guys are going, seeing their leader, the goat-headed man, teleported into a tree and screaming in agony. Meh, meh. They're just like, oh, this is not worth it, and they just start to run away. They're all trying to run, so they're moving as fast as they can, but they're having a hard time getting up that hill. But they're definitely moving in that direction. So then it's Flavius' turn.
So when Flavius landed on his back, the glass tubing just shattered. This has gone all out, all over the sand. And his glove goes down to his wound, and he picks his hand up, and he just sees all this black-looking ichor. It's really blood, but he sees it as oil because he thinks of himself as a machine. So he manages to prop himself to his feet, and he sees the goat stuck over there in the tree, and he starts imagining all the cutting instruments that he has, all the surgical carving tools. And he's imagining pieces of this goat preserved as trophies, put in glass bottles, sitting on a mantle. And he gets this kind of dastardly look in his eye. And everything else is running.
Yeah, everything else is just running away.
So I'm going to bend over and pick up the empty syringe that I had stabbed him with. I'm going to put pressure on the back, and you just see it squirt out the last remaining bits of acetone and then just breathe air. And I let it dangle limp to my side and just start slowly meandering over towards the goat.
Why are they traveling with this lunatic? Okay, after Flavius, it's Ragnar.
How far away are they? Could I run up on them, or?
Uh-huh. You could, yeah.
All right, yeah. Then I would dash towards them, and let's see if I hit first.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen before you swing, all right? I'm going to do a GM intrusion, which is something you do in Numenera, right? So I'm going to give you an XP and make you fall in the dune, so you can't get up the hill. You're too heavy to get up. They're used to climbing them with their goat legs. So you trip and fall. So you get an XP and you get 1 to give to somebody else.
All right, I'll give the other one to me.
Incorrect.
I'll give it to Shimo Tong. He's given me some ice armor, and
Okay.
quite
So you guys can
frankly,
mark down
Flavius.
that you have an XP. So you run in the dune, but you're too heavily armored and stuff to run up properly, and your feet are just pumping through the sand. You're unable to catch up with them.
Well,
Um,
I do have a question concerning that. I am, what is it? I am trained in, where the hell to go? All things like rugged running, jumping, swimming, and climbing.
mhm.
Would that help at
Well,
all? Or
basically, it's like in Fate where I compel you. It's
right?
like this is the thing that's happening, and to make up for the fact that I'm making it happen, I give you XP.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay. Then it's Shimo's turn.
Speaking of fate, is there anything in Numenera that I can do similar to creating an advantage or a boost or anything?
Not really, no. I mean, if you want to like try and do something that's like situational or like related to terrain and stuff, you can definitely do it, and I'll give you like a difficulty in how to do it. But
Because what I want to try to do is use my my onslaught and ice power to put a layer of ice on the dune so they can't climb up it.
okay, it'll be hard because that's a lot of ice power, and usually you're able to like summon shards to throw at people. So it'll be a difficulty 6, which is an 18.
Oof.
So you can expend stuff if you want to lower that, but
Yeah, I'll
it's gonna
expend effort, but that's I can only do that once.
Yeah.
So that's 2 points of off my intellect, and let's hope Dice Stream shows me a little love.
I think the first effort is 3. Everything
So that's
after is 2.
I got an intellect edge, dude.
Yeah, the
So
edge
you
lower.
said the initial is 18,
It
right?
was 18, so you need to get a 15 here.
15, right?
Okay, unfortunately not.
Not
You,
on
like,
your life.
You try and get enough energy together, but you're just not in enough control of your abilities yet. You think like with more training and stuff, and you'll be able
So
to do it eventually.
basically, all Shimo is doing is gathering his power, like almost similar to a Kamehameha, and instead of holding on to that power long enough to do what he wants to do, it just seems to be resonating outward, and it's snowing around him in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, perfect.
But that's all that happens.
Yeah. You can hear the slight jingle of like bells in the distance, like as if Santa's going by. It's pretty cute. Kira, you're next.
As the goatmen turn tail and run, she grins wickedly, revealing her pointed canines. And she pulls back another arrow in her bow. Run, little goats, run! And then she lets go an arrow.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That's a 6.
Okay, you'll hit a bandit in the back, and he will like slip and fall and then roll down the hill dead.
Awesome.
Okay. Then it's their turn. They're gonna continue up the hill, getting to the top, and then just like run down the other side as quickly as possible. Do you guys want to chase them, or are you okay to let them go?
I'm gonna kill them all.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah, after failing and just having the snow form around him and being mocked by the lump of clay as it turns to a fat man and giggles at him, Shimo is like, "Shut up, we're gonna do this. Get back in your pocket." Shoves the clay back in his pocket and prepares for battle.
Okay.
I'm still going for the goat.
Yeah. So if Shimo and Ragnar are running after, are you flying after Kira?
I can only glide, so I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run to the top of the dune, and then I'm gonna glide down the other side.
Nice. Okay. So everyone, just give me like a run check to run up this hill.
All right.
It
I
is
got the
difficult to
training
do.
in that.
Okay, so it was going to be a 9. Yours is a 6.
What does a 18 do on a skill check?
You get like I think it's just a 20 on skill checks, a 19 and
Okay.
20.
Okay.
But with combat, 17 and 18 just add more damage.
Okay.
And then with 19, you can choose to have a minor effect or do like 3 extra damage. With a 20, you can choose to do a major effect or do 4 extra damage.
Okay. Well, I got an 18 on my run.
Okay, you're absolutely like legging it up that hill. You get like really serious momentum, and you're able to jump up into the air and snap your wings out.
Yeah,
Okay,
mine's 17.
Okay, similarly, you're able to run up no problem at all, like sprinting way up there. And what about you, Ragnar?
I got a 16 to leg it up this
Hmm.
dune.
You're able to as well. The three of you, like with almost inhuman speed, just like zoom up this dune, and you can see them kind of nearly down the bottom of the other side, kind of trying to run away.
Man,
We'll go to Flavius for a second.
As I approach, do I see a weapon in his hand still?
Yeah, he's got his sword still, but he's like literally just like shouting.
I'm gonna stay like 20 feet away.
Mhm.
But he sees me walk up, and I just start whistling. And I walk over to a rock, and I open up my sack, and I take out this like folded black leather, and I lay it down and open it, and he can see the glistening of these tools in the sun, and it's taxidermy tools, precision knives, hooks. As I'm doing this, I start taking out bottles for quartering and setting them around the tools, and I'm still whistling, and I abruptly stop, and I say, "Ask not for whom the bell tolls, goat man. It tolls for thee." And I start looking around for something heavy I can throw at him.
Yeah, there's like a couple of rocks and stuff around the base of the tree.
Yeah, so I'll grab something heavy out of range and just chuck it.
Okay. So just make a roll, I guess, to try and hit him with the rock. It's going to be only a 6.
18.
Okay, so you not only hit him, but you get to do an extra 2 points of damage. So I'm going to say the rock is a medium weapon, so you'll do 6.
Nice.
And that actually will end him.
So I take this rock, and you can see my frail body shaking beneath it. So I walk forward, and cursing and some bizarre sounds. I lift it high above my head, and it blots out the sun for a second, because where he's at, the sun will never shine again. And I just let it drop, throw it. You just hear this vicious crash, bone breaking, cartilage snapping, and he falls lifeless, his leg still struck in the tree. I crack my neck and continue whistling and walk back over to get my instruments.
Nice. Okay. So those of you at the top of the hill, you can see them running below, just desperately trying to get away. They kind of thought this would be an easy sort of stand and deliver your money or your lives sort of situation, but instead it's been a massacre. You've killed their boss and most of their friends, so they're just running as quickly as they can away. Instead of doing like another really long combat, I'm just going to let you narrate how you take them out, because you are going to take them out. So there's
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 left, so you can split those up however.
You'll just see as we're running down the other side of the hill, Shimo extends his hands, now focused, without the distraction of his clay pet, and the air cools and the moisture in the air coalesces into these little hand axes that he throws. And as he throws the hand axes at 2 of them, as the hand axes connect to the backs of these goatmen, and the frozen ice blades slowly slink into their backs, it randomly explodes ice, frozen shards of blood in front of them, and they fall forward, but they don't fall all the way to the ground, as they're propped up about 45 degrees from the ground, being held up by these several long shards of frozen blood.
Nice.
Ragnar crests the dune and sees these individuals off in the distance, and he draws back his arm as if making this to strike them. And when he swings, he releases, but the massive sword continues to follow the arc of his arm as it reaches out further and further and further, coming around to cleave through 2 of them, and then as he retracts his arm, it comes back, and he sheaths it on his back as he uses his magnetic control.
Nice.
Riding the air currents down, Kira went to notch 2 arrows to take out 2 guys, but after the carnage of Shimo and Ragnar, she just looses both of them into one guy. They hit him straight in the back of the knees, and he just falls over dead.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you finish these guys off pretty easily. Like looking through them, they have very little, but they've got like a couple of shins each. If you want to take those.
Yeah, Shimo is picking their pockets and pocketing whatever shims he could find as their bodies slowly go from 45 and as the ice of their blood melts, they're just slowly sinking back into the sand.
Yeah, you'll find between a lot of you a total of 40 shins to split. You reckon these guys have actually robbed quite a few people on this little bit of road. Okay, so Flavius, what nastiness are you getting up to while they're off killing bandits?
My daily skill is taxidermy.
Okay.
So I have this small wooden hammer. I walk over and I create an incision from the belly button up into the chest. And then you just see the hammer come down. Bang! And you hear this loud crack, like I was opening up a lobster. And I go in and I take out the still beating heart and walk over whistling and put it in the jar. I take the tongue and the eyes and the hooves, and I'm putting each of these in different jars as I'm doing it. Should I give you a taxidermy roll or a biology roll to see how well I do this?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Bet this one's never been done before.
It's an unusual one, yeah.
8.
Okay, yeah, you do succeed. The difficulty was only a 6 because you're trained in it. So you're able to find pretty much what you want. The precision isn't as surgical as it usually might be, but you're definitely getting the job done.
My hands are a little bit shaky because I've been beaten up so bad and I have my wound. And I actually, I skin off the actual hide part of this goat man and I hang it from the tree. And all that remains from this assailant, this worm, this vermin that attacked me in the desert, is a pile of guts and flesh. And you can see as I walk over to a rock and take out a cigarette and start smoking, that maggots and filth just start creeping up on it. And it's decaying into the desert earth.
So you guys crest the hill pretty much as all these flies and stuff are buzzing around just a pile of guts, and he's like putting the lid on the last jar.
Kira's going and pulling her arrows out of the corpses. She looks up at the hide hanging from the tree when she crests the hill. She's like, "You're one sick fuck, Flavia, but you're a hell of a hunter."
He takes this long drag off of his bent cigarette, and it's weird, like what you're saying, because it almost looks like a person indulging after sex. And he puts the cigarette down and he goes, "Thanks."
So you guys are. Go ahead.
No, Shima's just gonna, as he's smoking with the several jars in front of him, he's like, "Well, we can't be having that bring up a smell as we travel." And one by one, he'll hold his hands on both jars, on both sides of each jar, and he'll chill each one.
Nice.
Thanks, Shimo. I appreciate that. That's gonna make these specimens take really well.
You're fucking sick.
Okay, so before you get to the... go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say what's really funny about it is I took all the jars out of the bag, so you see me put a heart in, then a butterfly, then a moth, then a tongue and eyeballs. It's just really bizarre shit next to normal bug collecting type of stuff. So there's a weird contrast there.
Yeah, it's certainly weird. Okay, before we get to the jungle, I'm just going to run to the bathroom, so if you're going to take a 2 or 5 minute break, yep, I'll be right back.
I'll be back in 20. Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Like,
You're the only one trying to be sane, I guess.
I guess, man. Kira's a fucking mutant pedo hanging out around children's schools, offering them feathers. Fucking.
Jeez, that's pretty harsh.
I mean, he like just rolls up in there, no questions asked. Hey kids, how you doing? What's the matter? I see a weak one over here. I'll single them out. Oh, you want to meet up?
That wasn't the worst part when she rolled up in there and was like, opened up the wings, like offering her body to these kids
Right,
and saying,
that's what.
"Hey, you can touch it."
That's
That
what I'm
was
saying.
terrible.
And like I said,
So, I would like to. I would like to make an official statement to all our viewers out there in YouTube's land that we here in the OSG, and I think it's safe to say that I speak for Lloyd on the Jarl DM's channel, do not promote pedophiles in any way, shape, or form. We assume no responsibility for any other players in that matter. Thank you. This has been your daily public service announcement.
Like, for real, man. Like, Kira's doing this, and I'm just waiting for, like, Chris Hansen to pop up while she's hanging out by the school.
No, you're not. You know what? You're not off the hook either. Going around and popping shit to all these metal dudes and then expecting them to answer your questions.
Both as like a person and as a character, they disgust me, and their lack of just inflection, like no emotion at all, just bothers the shit out of me and my character. and it's like, why not? It's not like they're going to get mad. Fuck these guys.
What are you speaking of? I am furious.
Right. I'm so angry right now. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Shut up. No, you're not.
Was that a failed insult?
I feel that you have tried to insult me. The fury is building inside.
I mean,
I would advise you to step off.
I feel like they're so stupid too. Like,
dude, the kids have got it right for sure. The kids have got it right.
I say we nuke this place.
My guess is we're gonna find out that the kids are like living in a child utopia, and like we're gonna have the difficult like dilemma of like.
The kids are in fucking Neverland right now, alright? They're loving it.
And they want us to they want to pay us like a bunch of money to return them, and I don't think Kira's gonna want to return them.
I think maybe we should just say, oh man, you're right, the 8 people ate them, what a shame, so you can pay us for our effort now. I think Lloyd is listening in on our master plan.
It just arrived. I only heard, maybe we should just tell them the 8 people ate them.
Basically, the kids got it right.
What do you mean?
Oh, we were discussing some various things, and it was brought up about Ragnar's loathing of these metal people.
Yeah.
And then how the kids are probably in, Neverland.
Well, I mean, the metal people don't seem unhappy in any way.
They don't seem anything emotionally in any way. It bothers me a lot.
Also, Ragnar and Shimo think that Kira is a pedophile, is what they've discussed as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Seriously, just
she's not a pedophile.
I mean, you got look at it from someone else's perspective though. You just roll up in the cafeteria, wings outstretched, like children. You can touch them. I'm gonna speak with you. And you explicitly said this one, I singled this one out, the weak one. And you're like, oh, of course I'll meet you by the school. What better place? You want me to dance for you, little one? I'll dance for you. Come on. and then find out that you carry around a goddamn whip on top of that. Like, what the hell?
I bet you she's wearing leather armor too.
I'll bet she is.
She's not wearing any armor.
What the fuck?
Oh.
I love how you're the monster.
Yeah, right? Well, she's the mutant. Of course they're going to misunderstand her. She's got, like, blue skin and pointy fangs and pointed ears and creepy eyes. I get it. It's just racism.
And likes children.
I'll play the mutant card.
Look,
We got this, like, walking taxidermist with us. This walking, like,
that is
fucking...
an honorable profession.
Yeah, right? This dissector. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you looked at the player's guide, but, like, for Flavia, Master's Insects is, like, the perfect, like, focus for him.
Oh yeah, I almost went with that. It was a real difficult decision.
But, anyways.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in. I think it's what's it called, the one that Nelson told me about, the player options or whatever.
Options, players' options. Yeah, that's
I
what
haven't
it's
seen
called.
those yet. I got to get my hands on that.
There's travels through fucking time.
Oh, that's fucking great.
And there's Seas Beyond, which is really cool. There's one where you have a fucking doppelganger you can summon.
Yeah. I like the one where needs no weapon.
Players, I think I have that one. I have to check that out.
All right, so
Yeah, so all the players are here. Let's continue with the game.
yeah, so you guys have massacred these poor bandits. All they wanted was some money, and the jungle is within sight. You could probably get there in about half an hour.
All right. So I am going there then.
Okay, you get there.
No questions asked. I'm not even paying any attention to Flavius's disgusting macabre display.
Yeah, now that I've become one with the ice to escape the heat, I'm going to, whenever required, just maintain that form.
Okay. Excuse me. You guys are able to get to the edge of the jungle, right? And you hear like the wind of the desert howling and stuff, and then there's like a really clear line. There's no it doesn't like go, savanna and then brush and then, grass and then jungle. It's just like desert, sand, and then lush jungle. There's nothing in between. And when you put both your feet in the jungle, you don't hear the desert wind anymore. You hear like frogs and birds calling and all sorts of noises of the jungle, like water rushing all over the place. And then you step back out into the desert again, and it's just so it's literally
Is there any
a different world.
Oh. Is there any type of momentary healing, or like, can I heal myself at all, or do you get some back, or?
You can do a recovery. So
Okay.
you roll a d6 and you get that many points to put back into your stats, and then if you want to take 10 minutes after that, you can do it again.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna do that real quick right now for 4 points back to my might pool, which puts it at 7 right now.
So yeah, you roll 1d6, and then if you want to spend another 10 minutes doing it, you get another dice.
Yeah, let's
Hey,
take
guys.
a 20-minute rest.
Yeah, let's do that.
You can keep adding time, right? So the next one is an hour, and then it's like a couple of hours.
Oh, so it's like it'd be like an hour 10 total then.
So like
For
if you
2 more dice.
yes, if you it goes basically you get 1 dice for like a minute or whatever, then you get 2 dice for 10 minutes, and you get 3 for an hour, and then it keeps going up in amounts of time.
Oh, okay.
Ragnar's pretty hardcore. He's not resting.
My 10-minute rest probably came after the taxidermy while I smoked.
So if you take a 10-minute rest, you get to roll 2d6s and add that many points to your pools. You can spread them however you want.
Okay, well, Kira takes 10 minutes. If they keep going, they keep going. She'll catch up. But she takes 10 minutes, and she gets a total of 6 more, so that puts her, that actually fills her might pool up. That's all I needed.
Perfect.
Now Lloyd, looking down from like an aerial view as Flavius comes up to the jungle, His trench coat is now like dragging in the sand. It almost looks like a serpent entering the Garden of Eden.
Nice. Excellent. That's exactly it. This place is just like entirely lush with life. Everything you look at is like vibrant colors, and there's just constant noise of like insects and frogs and birds and all sorts of stuff that you would hear in a rainforest. You can hear water running in the distance somewhere. It's like incredibly lush. So you know that this is a circular jungle. So it's a perfect circle, and it stretches 4 miles across. So once you get in the jungle, what do you want to do?
Once they step into the jungle, Kira she starts to spaz out and she falls to her knees and her wings writhe a little bit and her eyes open wide and they can see both her pupils are almost looks like they're fighting for space in her irises, and she has a vision of Flavia putting metal rods in her rings, and she comes to for a second and takes a deep breath. She had her horrific precognition. She has every task she takes for the next 1 minute is at a difficulty higher.
Okay, perfect. That's great. So you guys are now in the jungle. Do you have any sort of plan about where you want to go?
I would employ tracking, being, the rugged, down-to-earth ranger type guy.
Okay. So what are you trying to track? The children?
Well, they mentioned apes, so
Yeah.
I would be looking around for leaf nests, perhaps markings on the ground of footprints, in the trees where some branches may be slicker or something where they've been swinging through, as well as children's footprints.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll. Your target is going to be a 15.
I'm also going to attempt it, Lloyd.
Okay.
I am trained in that.
Okay, so yours will be a 12, and actually, because you have a thing with for a minute your rolls are worse, yours will be an 18.
Okay.
I want to try to do it as well.
Okay.
Is there any way that I can assist, or I have to just do it by myself?
I don't know.
I did not succeed.
Okay.
And then,
So you're pretty confident that. What did you get?
I got 15.
Okay. Okay. You don't have a terribly bad idea. You're just not sure where you didn't see anything.
Okay.
I'm thinking I might spend to apply some effort to this.
Okay. So it's from your intellect. It'll be 3.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So that should knock it down to a 10 then.
To a 9.
To a 9. All right. Here you go. Son of a.
Okay. So you see some tracked and stuff. You're like, okay, this is the kids. I'm certain of it.
I rolled a 15, Lloyd. I'm not
Okay.
tracking though. I am sniffing the air, trying to smell ape feces.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you do. In a very sort of, I imagine you're tasting the air too, right? Like a snake. You definitely get a strong whiff in a northeastern direction.
So I get really dark, and I say to Ragnar, I can smell the beasts by their shit. And I point to the northeast.
Ragnar, you think it's going to be southwest is the direction you're supposed to go.
So no, it's he's a big guy, but he's a little put off by this. I don't know, this guy, whatever he is, he's crazy. You smell their poop. No. These tracks right here. Listen, my friend, I've been in many jungle. Definitely this way. I'm not sure how accurate your poop sniffing is, but tracks do not lie.
All right, so
Like-
Shimo is gonna walk between them, and as he's going towards them, he's unzipping the pouch once again and pulling out the lump of clay, and he goes, "All right, I know you're good at this thing. Find out where the hell it went, and I'm gonna roll one of my own."
Okay.
So, so the clay the clay starts writhing around and it forms a hand and it starts pointing at the floor and then pointing in the same direction of Ragnar and
It
then
actually
pointing at the floor.
it kind of points somewhere about halfway between the two.
So I'm like, well, he's usually a pain in the butt, but I guess we should meet in the middle.
Now I'm telling you, it's this. Look at the tracks.
And Shimo starts walking off in the direction that is in between the two of them.
I'm going to make a conceit to Ragnar that he's probably the better tracker, so I'll do things his way.
Okay. So you're kind of. Are you okay with this, Kira? Are you going with them?
Yeah, I'll go with them, but can I climb up a tree and move about the trees? Can I do that?
Sure.
Right.
It'll be a climb. You're trained in that, right?
Yes.
So it'll just be a 6.
That's a 5.
Okay. So you're climbing like up one of these pretty tall trees, and you grab a branch that looks pretty steady, and it just snaps, and you fall to the ground.
Yeesh. Can I glide down?
Yes.
Okay.
So like
Well-
at the last minute, your wings unfurl, and you just land lightly.
And I guess I follow Flavia and Ragnar and to some extent Shimo because he's kind of going in the right direction, but not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, you see Shimo place the clay on his shoulder once again, and then once placed on his shoulder, shortly after, the clay morphs into a bipedal form and appears to be marching in place on Shimo's shoulder.
I do pull my bow and knock an arrow though,
Okay.
just in case.
Yeah, you guys start wandering, and you pretty quickly get the feeling that you're being followed or watched. Every now and then you see like eyes in the tree line, and you definitely feel like stuff is catching up to you. You end up walking by, or you see up ahead, like a huge tree that's kind of split down the middle, and Ragnar, you recognize this to be a ravage bear nest. This is a nest of a type of enormous bear that's blind, but has a very strong sense of smell. And you can hear a sort of heavy breathing coming from the inside of the nest.
I'll immediately hold my hand up and in a very hushed tone, if they don't understand the signal, tell them to stop.
So, Kira, you probably have some experience with this as well, being a hunter. You know that they're not necessarily aggressive, but when you threaten their nest and stuff, they can get very aggressive very quickly.
I'll mention that I suggest that we circle around and give a wide berth to the area. I'll explain what the creature in question is to them.
Are you whispering?
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, knowing that their other senses are quite keen, I'm not trying to rouse it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will put emphasis on avoidance to Flavius. We're not trying to taxidermy this thing. It might end up being the other way around, my friend.
He's got a white glove out covering his face with it,
Oh my god.
breathing through the glove.
You guys, what's the plan here? You guys circle around?
Yeah, I'm going to. If they want to YOLO this thing, go ahead.
I'm gonna try to be extra quiet, actually, as I circle around.
Okay. So you wanna do
Yeah,
a stealth?
Me too.
That's an 18.
Okay, Kira, you fucking nail it. You were a shadow in the jungle. Like not a single branch cracks underneath you as you kind of quietly move away and circle around this nest.
All right. I would also probably follow suit with stealth, and would that be along the means of running? So I'm trained in all
No.
things running, jumping,
It's not.
climbing, swimming. It's
Nope.
a separate thing.
It's a separate thing, definitely. Yeah.
All right.
I've
let's
got a
go.
6.
Okay. Right. Target is a 9. So go ahead.
Oh my god. Woo.
Okay. And what about Shimo?
Shimo tries to follow the exact path that Kira took,
Okay. I'll lower it by 1.
and I roll an 18.
Okay. You're also very quiet, but Flavius is like at the end of the line, and you're kind of like quietly walking, and then you trip on a root, and just like crunch, smash into the undergrowth, and for a second you hear like a.
I just
And-
holler, flee! Take off.
Okay, you see this thing stick its head out of the nest, and it's like it's got no eyes, and it looks like a bear. What you know is a bear, but it's much bigger, and it's got like 2 enormous tusks coming from the kind of where its chin would be, and it's just smelling the air, looking for you guys.
Uh-oh, I really stink. I mean, I'm gonna make that conceit because I've got all these body parts all over me. My guy's not that clean to begin with, but laying there on the ground, I want to use my learned insects to try to spot a hive or something in the area. Maybe something I
Absolutely.
can battle this bear with.
Fuck, just throw that stinky backpack.
No way, man. Those are my trophies.
I knew it.
Hey, while he's kind of while we know that the bear made some noises, can I like loose an arrow like out in the woods, like kind of the way we came to kind of distract the bear?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Do you want me to make a roll for that, or?
No, yeah, it's going to be really easy. You just need to beat a 3.
What do I need, Lloyd?
12.
Okay, nice. You need to figure out if there's anything nearby that's useful. Okay, let's say you'll need you would have been a 12, but it's a 9 because you're trained.
Come on, 15. Yes.
Nice. Okay. So at the same time the arrow kind of whizzes by, the bear kind of looks in that direction for a second, and starts to smell that direction because it can't see anything. But you see a sort of like almost like a ball with a single hole at the top, and you recognize this to be like a nest of what are called thunder ants, which are like very, very large ants that have like electrical charges when they sting.
What?
And you see produced in my hand a rock. And it's the clearest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then my eyes focus on that stupid ball. And I try to throw it into it, exciting the ants and bringing down all of our doom.
Okay, yeah, you throw it at the nest, and like just thousands of ants just rush out, and you can see there's like static electricity kind of going between them. It's how they communicate, and they just like rush in every direction towards the bear, particularly because it's closer to them and it's large. But they're also kind of slowly enough moving in your direction. They're kind of spreading out like a carpet across the floor of the jungle.
By the way, when Ragnar said flee, he fled.
So what's Flavius? Are you staying to watch the carnage, or are you going to be running as well?
I'm going to climb up in the nearest tree.
Excellent. Roll me a climb check.
Come on. Oh, I got a 2.
Okay. So you like get like just off the ground, and then like you're like, man, I'm so weak. You can't like lift yourself up anymore, and you're just like stuck on the ground, and the thunder ants are approaching.
Can I make another insect knowledge roll, or would I just know like what would repel the ants?
Yes. Let's see. What would repel thunder ants? Water.
Oh
What?
man.
They definitely avoid water whenever possible because it like messes with their electricity. They can't communicate properly, so they flee away from it.
Do I see water anywhere?
Yes, there's like a large leaf that seems to have collected quite a bit of water in it.
So it's like large as in like I could douse myself with the water?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I will start scampering towards the leaf.
Okay.
Double time.
So you're kind of running away from the fire ants towards this leaf. Some of them are getting to you. One of them climbs up and it bites you just like here in the back of your neck, and you feel like an electric shock. And you'll take a single point of might damage. As it does
When the electricity courses through me, I see myself back in that bar watching the lady with 6 hands.
6 hands.
Or sorry, 6 fingers on a hand.
That's
It's
She
weird
has-
every time.
no wonder
has
you
three-
liked her so much.
She actually has 3 hands though.
Of course.
Oh my
Yeah, you
God.
get to this leaf.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's never good.
No.
You don't see that the bear is kind of he's got like thunder ants all over him, and he's like trying to shake them off and stuff. And he like runs out of the nest. You're assuming towards a source of water.
Yeah, man,
So-
these ants are the shit.
You like what you legged out there for a second, Lloyd. You said I made it to the
Oh, okay.
actual leaf.
You
and
made it
doused
to the
myself?
leaf. Yeah. Yeah, is that
Alright,
your
good.
plan? You want to douse yourself in water?
Yup.
Okay. Yeah, you do. All over the ground. The ants immediately, like, some of them are swept up in the water, but most of them are just, like running immediately. Like it's like a moving carpet, just like runs away from that. And you're able to like get away with the rest of the party eventually.
Awesome. Now I have skill in poisoning.
Uh-huh.
Would those ants be poisonous? Would I know that?
Yeah, they would be.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, only some of them. Only the ones that would be considered soldier ants would be poisonous, so you don't know what bit you. Okay, so you meet up with the rest of the party away from this clusterfuck of a situation. You're all turned around. You don't really know where you are anymore, so I'll have you guys like make another tracking check, I guess, to figure out where the hell you are.
Has it been a minute yet?
It has, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll make a tracking check now.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull back my collar, and I'm gonna say Shimo. How
I got
bad
a
is it?
I got a 16.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Oh, nice.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Worst fucking ranger ever.
What were you gonna say, Andrew?
I said I pull my collar back and ask Shimo how bad is it, where the ant had bit me on the back of the neck.
There's like an angry red welt, pretty much where his neck connects to his shoulder.
Shimo will just put his hand right above it and try to use his ice ability to cool the area to soothe him a bit.
Nice.
It is what it is, buddy.
You
I
guys
produced,
really
like,
are
this
cute
long-
together.
I produce this like long, wicked-looking needle, and I hold it beside my head and say, Shimo, lance it.
Whatever you say, man.
Okay, I guess give me a lancing check.
Don't forget that 20's for my tracking check.
Yeah, yeah. You got any medicine training or anything like that?
Not at all.
Okay. It's not hard to, like, I guess, extract poison.
Oh!
Holy shit. Unbelievable. Okay.
Thank you.
So, like, when you pick up the needle, it just makes sense to you. And you're just like, well, this is obvious. And you just, like, get it right in, and you'd, like, extract this kind of weird goo, like a kind of bluey goo from the wound, every single bit of it. And the
Every-
swelling immediately goes down.
Every time he extracts some of this goo, he freezes an orb of it, and then hands it to hands it to Flavius one by one as he's freezing small orbs of this poison as it's being extracted.
Nice.
Oh, it's so good. As you're extracting it and I feel this release, my eyes just go up in the back of my head again with ecstasy.
So, you guys, we've got Shimo and Kira both got a really good tracking roll, so you guys know where to go if you're looking for the apes. You find some tracks and just a bunch of stuff that leads you to believe that if you were to go in this certain direction, you would find them. So heading that direction, I guess.
Not to sound like a creep, but are there children's tracks
Oh my!
in here too?
Yes, there are. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
So you carry on through the jungle for a bit, and you're kind of on this little, kind of like a path. It's more like a little track that's clearly been traveled before. And as you continue, you see a boy who's maybe 12 years old on the path in front of you. And he turns and he sees you, and his eyes widen, and he just starts to run away.
Right before he runs, the blob of clay on my shoulder, he'll turn into what was his name? I can't see. Salazar. He'll mimic a Salazar's form and start waving to the boy. Right before he runs.
So the boy basically sees you guys. His eyes just go, and just starts running, sprinting away from you guys down the path.
Shima will turn to the piece of clay and just go, "Oh, come on, man, you did it again!" and start running in the direction the boy was.
Okay, so you're chasing, or all of you chasing?
Yeah, Kira will take off too.
Okay.
She'll put her bow away as she's running to not seem threatening.
Okay, sure.
As a matter of fact, since Shimo started going first, he sort of shakes his head as he comes up with an idea, and then links his hands together, turns around and rests his hands on his on his knee, squats down a bit, and yells out to Kira, "Come on, girl, I'll give you a boost."
Okay, I'll take it and jump off of him and glide after the kid.
Okay, yeah, you do. So he's actually really quick, surprisingly quick, and he's jumping over roots and stuff, and he has clearly traveled this way quite a few times, and you get really close to him, and then you just see burst out of the undergrowth this enormous ape, big like a gorilla. He's got pauldrons on his shoulders, like armor. He's got a loincloth on, and he punches his fist into the ground. No further.
My homie.
I land in a roll and a crouch, and I hold up my hand in peace. I come in peace. I come in peace.
Humans, adult humans here. This is worrying. Were you sent by the metal ones?
You talk about the 10 people?
The what?
The 10 men?
Yes. The ones who live in the giant.
We were in fact sent by them. For what it's worth,
the children. You
No.
will not take them away.
That is not my intentions. I don't like them. They're bad people.
Quite.
Are the
You can
children safe and happy here?
Of course, they ran here, to us. They wanted to flee. This is enough. I will bring you to the king. He will explain to you, if you so wish.
I do.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah,
You cannot come before the king so armed. I will have
Yeah,
to take your
Shimo's
weapons.
looking kind of confused at the talking ape, and once he says, "I'll bring you before the king," the clay on his side forms a facsimile of a head and just starts nodding.
So he says, "You cannot be armed before the king. You must surrender your weapons."
Uh, uh, okay.
Kira hands over her whip, her bow, and her sisk.
Okay.
Yeah, Shimo just raises his hands up as he has no visible weapons. He's wearing as far as clothing, nothing but like a tank top and a pair of cargo pants and boots.
Okay. So this thing is huge, right? He looks like a gorilla, but he's like maybe like 8 feet tall at the shoulder, and he's on all fours. So he's pretty huge.
I show him my syringe and I say, I am a doctor.
Don't be fooled. This man is a lunatic.
he comes forward a little bit and you reek of death.
I reek of offerings for your king. And you see my hand go down into my satchel, and from it, I bring out the heart of a goat. And I say, the heart of the mercenaries that had so taxed your jungle. A gift.
Really quick, Lloyd. Do I get the sense that they might have their own language and they're speaking in a foreign, like a second language to them?
Yeah, he speaks English fluently. Like, he doesn't have a weird accent or anything. He just has a really gruff voice. But you figure they're apes. They probably speak in their own language too.
So I'm gonna reach into one of my pockets and pull out a small disc, press it to my forehead, and use my comprehension graft.
What are you doing? What is that?
Does the graft work?
Oh yeah, he's speaking English.
Uh,
What are you doing? What is this device? He looks at it. That's a Numenera. What does it do?
I was just hoping it'll help me speak to you better.
I can understand you fine.
And again, still looking kind of confused as he was before. The clay on his shoulder, still with the facsimile of the head that was once nodding, is now sort of laying its head low and just shaking in disapproval. Shimo turns to the clay, still with the disc pressed on his forehead. It's like, what? How am I supposed to know he could talk the way we... Never mind.
You, big man, the sword. Hand it over.
I suppose I will let you hold Matilda for a little while.
That's cute. You named your weapon. He grunts in approval.
Perhaps she's been with me a long time. Treat her with respect.
I know what that's like. And he pats an enormous sword on his hip.
Beautifully crafted.
We do it as best we can. Follow me. You see
Wow.
that the kid has climbed up on his back. The little kid has climbed on his back and he's hanging on to his shoulders.
Whilst... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Lloyd, the moment he turns his back, you see me produce the frozen poison orbs that Nelson handed to me and stick them into the heart. Me taking note at which side I'm putting them in.
Okay.
Because if this is to be an offering, let it be his last.
What a bad
Able to follow
person.
this gorilla.
Whilst following him, if I may, I have some questions.
Yeah.
I talked to him, sincerely curious. Where they came from? You know, how long have they been here? How long have they been able to speak? You know, get such higher intelligence and things of the sort. You know.
He looks at you confused. We've always been able to speak. What are you talking about?
Many moons ago, according to some of the ancient texts I've read, They were similar creatures, but they were unable to speak the tongue of man.
Well, many, many years ago, your species was our species. Follow me. He continues to walk.
How long have you been in this jungle?
You ask a lot of questions. I told you I'll bring you to the king.
Knowledge is power, my friend.
Quite.
You see the clay on Shimo's shoulder. It forms into a very good facsimile of of Ragnar, and it's standing on Shimo's shoulder, and in this facsimile of Ragnar, it puts both clenched fists on either side of its hips, and it sort of sways back and forward, and just it's moving its mouth.
So it doesn't take long for you guys to and you see that there's a ton of apes there, and monkeys of various kinds. They all have shoulder pauldrons on. They all have like either loincloths or skirts of some kind, as in like Roman-style skirts. You notice that they've got these beautiful wooden houses on stilts with glass windows, running water. They've got fountains all over the place. There are dozens and dozens of human children and teenagers even running around the place. A couple of human men. And the children are just running around enjoying the jungle. There's a group sitting in a semicircle in front of an orangutan, and he is pointing at this floating sort of screen, and he's like teaching them some stuff. And there you're brought to a building. You climb up some stilts, and inside it's quite a big building, and very airy. Very sweet smelling. The whole place smells kind of sweet. It's got these lovely glass windows, and at the end of it sits this other very large gorilla, and he's sitting cross-legged. A couple of chimpanzees and orangutans around him, and another big gorilla at his side who's quite heavily armored.
Yeah, as we were walking to this, and we were seeing all the children and teenagers and adults running back and forward, and me seeing no metal or technological devices around whatsoever. Shimo kind of relaxes, and he starts smacking himself on his forehead. Every time he smacks himself, you see his ice body just start to get dozens of cracks until the final smack where all the ice just sort of shatters and falls to the ground, and he appears just as a normal human again.
You did see some technology and stuff. You saw like a floating sort of whiteboard almost that the guy was using, and they definitely have like running water, stuff like that. It's actually probably nicer than the industrial place you were. They didn't have running water or glass windows or anything like that. This gorilla sitting cross-legged, he's got like a wreath on his enormous head. And he says, Gorak, what have you got here? Humans. And this one, wings? It's very strange. Come closer.
Kira steps closer, kind of bows her head a little bit. Your Majesty?
I assume that the silver one sent you here, yes? To try and get back their children.
You're correct.
Yeah, as he says silver one, the clay forms into a facsimile of Salazar again and starts waving.
But we don't necessarily want to take the children. We wanted to find out what was happening to the children.
You're not the first group of mercenaries sent this way. I can offer you no money and no reward for leaving here. You wouldn't be the first group that we've had to take care of either. But the children are
Hey,
happy.
we don't necessarily want money. Are the kids safe and happy?
They are.
As she says that, Shimo just starts looking real confused. Don't want.
The The children flee here because they want to sing and dance and play, and they want to make things, and they want to create, and they want to be individuals. That is impossible in the city they come from.
Your guard Gorex made a comment about being human adults, but I see a couple. Are they allowed to live out their whole lives here?
Yes. Those that come to us are never made to leave unless they want to.
And they don't have to drink any crazy silver poison stuff.
Certainly not.
How is it they came to know about the city? How did the first children find their way here? Why do you take them in?
We take them to save them from this nasty fate where they become one of many and lose all emotion, all joy. They become automatons. We've had some spies infiltrate that city, and what they're doing there is not natural. And some of the other apes kind of go, not natural.
I agree.
Yeah, those metal guys they are pretty creepy.
The children that come here, we teach them the skills they need to survive here in the jungle. We teach them how to read, how to write. We teach them about history and science. We teach them everything they need to know to live a happy life. We encourage art and music. We encourage dancing and singing and art. It's important that humans engage in this kind of activity rather than just becoming wheels in a cog or cogs in a wheel.
Should they choose to? Are they allowed to leave?
Well, that depends.
Yeah, when the king mentions art, both Shimo and the mound of clay on his shoulder sort of perk up a bit.
The children are not allowed to return. If they come here, they're not allowed to return.
But can they go out into the desert and beyond and make their own lives in this ninth world?
Once they're old enough to survive, certainly. But it's dangerous out there. That desert is filled with bandits and monsters.
Speaking of danger, Great King, and I step forward and I twirl out my trench coat and I bow before him. And I produce from the bag the heart. We did you a great service on the way here. We slew Gal Rock, the great goat man mutant that's been terrorizing the countryside. A mercenary warrior of grand renown. I go, it is our custom that the heart belongs to the king.
It's a barbaric custom.
I'd say so.
Well, if you have killed a bandit leader, that can only be a good thing. So I thank you for that service. And although I don't know your customs, I'll gladly accept the heart.
Will you share in a right with me? A right of the warrior.
Kind of whisper to the king. He needs medicated. This man needs medical help.
And what this right is.
It is tradition among my people, the great hunters, that when we slay one such as him, we take a bite of the heart, taking on his power.
I'm a vegetarian.
You see the clay on Shimo's shoulder? It sort of just falls back into an amorphous form, and then of its own volition climbs down into the pouch and zips the pouch shut on itself.
I produce the heart in my hand.
We do not eat meat here. We kill no things.
I look across at this monkey. And in my mind, the word monkey is such an insult to this gorilla. And I go down to the heart, and I just feast on the side that I took. Because when I put the poison in it, I made note of the actual ventricle that it went into. So I take a bite on the other side, and I just slosh it around. You can see the blood drip down off the corners of my mouth and run into my trench coat as I just stare at him coldly. You offend me, sir.
I mean no offense, but that is a barbaric custom, and I will take no part of it.
So you think us primitive?
I do.
Well, he thinks you primitive.
I just like spit. I spit blood out of my mouth on the ground before him, just biting down hard on this heart meat.
Seeing Flavius just consume this heart and hearing the words vegetarian, Shimo flashes back to when he was ravenously consuming those mushrooms, and then and then remembering what Flavius told him, a look of utter disgust crosses Shimo's face.
And as he chews, he just stops and he goes, "But that is your right, my king," looking at you out of the corner of his eyes. No offense is given, and he throws the heart into the dirt and just walks back with his hands out.
Look, you have come here to retrieve the children. I cannot allow that to happen. I know that they offer you exorbitant rewards. We have nothing to offer here. All I ask is that you make the right decision here. We have very few warriors, but we are not defenseless. Think, are these children happier here, or would they be happier as part of that collective of bizarre...
Oh, they're definitely happy you're here. I would say, as long as you guys, can you give us some food for the road, and as long as you guys take care of these kids and every other kid who escapes that godforsaken crater, I'd say that's gift enough.
I have a better idea.
Whoa, hey, whoa, yeah. I mean, come on, we could work something out besides just that, right?
I kind of rest my hand on Shimo Tong's shoulder, and I say, "You seem quite interested in shins. What say you have access to all the shins that great Goliath monastery, that city has to offer? Would that interest you?"
You just see Shimo raise an eyebrow slowly as he turns to you. I do have a few creditors I need to get off my back.
Yes. You seem like a man who likes to keep his debts paid. All we have to do...
As you say, you seem like a man who likes to keep his debts paid. You hear from the shoulder pouch on Shimo's arm.
Oh yeah, Ragnar was most assuredly just playing to your good senses. He would have preferred to say you seem like a man who has a shitload of debts. He's like, all we have to do, simple task, bring the Goliath to its knees. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
How in the hell are we gonna do that? I think it's bigger than the thing is bigger than these dudes. A lot bigger.
They engage in bizarre rites over there. When they drink of that liquid, they change. They become neutral.
Creepy. They become real creepy.
They lose all sense of joy. They lose all sense of happiness. They just become placid, I suppose. It's a hard thing to describe. But the children that have come here said that their older siblings, upon drinking, the moment they do so, they don't want to play anymore. They don't want to pretend anymore. They just want to be productive. And I can't allow that to happen. It's not fair on children to demand that of them.
Are you... How often do they drink? Do they keep drinking? Is it just a one-time deal? Do you know? Have your spies procured this information?
I'm not certain, but I believe it's a yearly ritual after the first time.
I say we poison the watering hole. I look over to Flavius. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Flavius just is still staring at the king, blood trickling down the corner of his mouth, unmoving with his gaze.
What say you? The biggest, the grandest by far the most glorious and unique oddity to add to your collection, a Titan.
I do not wish death upon any. I simply want to make sure that the children there are not treated cruelly.
Don't fret about the small details, good king. It is not your wish that need be played out.
As I said, I offer you no reward. I can offer you no reward. All I ask is that you keep this place a secret.
Well, look. Some of us need some financial recompense. Others need to hear the pitter-patter of little feet. So it's got to be something we can work out here. Come on.
I have nothing to offer you. I will offer you nothing. The goodness of your heart and your own morality should steer you in the right direction. If you make the other choice, I will know that you are not good people. I will ask you to leave.
With that, Flavius turns his back and walks away.
You will say nothing of this place. I'll have your word.
Yeah, you have my word.
Yeah, Shimo goes, yeah, what he said. Then turns and starts walking away.
You really do have our word, Your Majesty. We're more worried about the children getting out of that crazy, crazy hive.
Yes, I'll say absolutely nothing. Do you have any warriors interested in exploring?
We don't need to explore. This jungle belongs to us.
It's a big world out there.
It's true. But the desert is no place for one of us. We thrive here in the jungle. We are happy here. We need nothing else.
How is it that this jungle maintains itself, by the way?
I don't know. It's one of the many wonders of this bizarre world.
Yes. Yes, everybody is all-knowing, full of information in this continent.
So do you guys want to leave, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and poison these fuckers.
Oh yeah, I want to get back there as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like all due speed, and I want to return to see my employer.
Okay. You're able to make it back without much trouble at all. You can go through the tunnel again if you want, or you can just walk across the desert.
I say, well, the first thing I'm going to do is just complain to Ragnar. Like, if you saw they had that many shins, man, why didn't you open up your mouth earlier?
Well, surely, if they're able to offer us 200 shins apiece without batting an eye, they have more. Then again, I shouldn't expect them to express any amount of worry.
Yeah, you saw them bat an eye?
No, it was a turn of phrase, certainly one that is not worthy of them since they don't understand emotion. Perhaps they have to have large amounts of money though. Like I said, the 200 shins apiece plus different various Numenera as compensation. And you heard the king say that other mercenary bands have came. Surely they got the same offer.
When did they offer Numenera?
Well, you weren't told of this?
No, dude. Remember?
Only you know about the reward.
Huh?
Only you were told about the reward.
Oh shit. They didn't.
I go back by way of the tunnel, Lloyd.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you're able to get there pretty quickly. Are the rest of you like gunning it back as well, or are you?
Kira
Yeah.
is.
Personally, Ragnar would be haul assing, talking to Shima Tong as well. Um, he definitely suspects that Flavius is a goddamn Judas.
So you get back to the town. You come out of the tunnel, and you're back. What's your plan, Flavius? Do you want to try and sneak off or something, or?
I'm just leaving, going and doing my own shit.
Okay.
I watch to see if I'm followed.
Hmm.
And when I'm sure that I'm alone, if I reach that point, I'm going to go back and contact Salazar.
Okay. I'll say you can do that. Sure.
Alright,
You have returned.
I've returned with everything you need.
What do you mean? Did you find the children?
I walk over to a table that has this large map, and I pull out the little syringe I used at the beginning on the butterfly, and I stab it on the jungle, right where the little gorilla / ape king's kingdom is. And I just go like this. And I say, oh, it would also interest you to know the kids have been escaping through a tunnel by the schoolyard.
This fucking guy.
Escaping? They've been leaving of their own volition?
They have.
You see his lack of eyebrows kind of knit together in what is probably a frown. It's the most emotion you've seen this guy do. That is unacceptable. Well, they're in the jungle?
They are in the jungle.
It was the apes.
It was. If you plan on leading men back there, I would be glad to accompany you. All I ask for in return is the hide, and the heart, and the tongue, and the eyes, and the tail. The feet of that ape king.
Just give him the body, Jesus.
That can be arranged. And like a weird little smile creeps onto his face. I must consult with the council.
Before he leaves, I stick out my hand, but know this. The men and the woman you sent with me performed their jobs admirably.
Good. I am glad. You will have your reward, as promised. You have done as I asked. I will speak to the council. We will mobilize within a day. And he leaves. So I'll say the rest of you catch up to Flavius just as your man is leaving the building.
We have to speak to the silver dude, right?
Yeah, Salazar.
Yeah, we have to speak to Salazar.
That's who he was just talking to. So you arrive at the building just as Salazar's leaving.
Yeah, Shimo starts walking to Salazar hurriedly. During the travel, he would have had the clay on his shoulder. Hey, you! I got a bone to pick with you.
Who are you to address me as such?
And you see the clay form into a facsimile of Salazar, with the only difference being two horns jutting out of the forehead. And he goes,
Tempting levity. Very good.
Look, Flavius told me you fed me food grown from human shit. That is not cool.
It is the only fertilizer that we have here.
He goes, you're gonna have to compensate me for that.
Do not threaten me.
And then the clay is starting to waggle his finger too. still looking like Salazar. He goes, "You see this guy? This guy right here. He knows things."
Which guy?
He looks at the clay on his shoulder. He goes, "Seriously?"
I believe you are malfunctioning.
Look, Salazar, I need to talk to you about the children.
Of course. They're in the jungle. The apes have them. We will retrieve them.
By the
No.
way, I'm watching this out the window
Yeah.
of the place where I had just betrayed them.
No, I'm gonna give a fucking uplifting and inspiring and convincing speech.
So do
Look, you don't retrieve those children. Sit here in your fucking Titan Tower and do what you do, but you have to realize some of you are not like you. Some of this life isn't for everybody, buddy.
This life is
Those
for everyone.
those kids who run away, they're happy. They're learning. They're being themselves.
I am happy. We are all happy here. We are part of something greater.
No, look, seriously, I'm serious. Just leave those kids alone. I'm gonna roll persuasion.
I cannot do that.
I rolled a 6 anyways, so I mean.
I cannot do that.
So what do you plan on doing?
We're going to acquire our children. We're going to bring them into the fold. This is part of a greater plan. You do not understand.
Whose plan? Who makes these rules? And don't be ducking the question this time, man.
I do not like your tone.
Yeah, like he said.
The Titan makes the rules.
Where's the Numenera? Because I heard. See, this guy said we were gonna get Numenera, forgetting what we were doing, and then you fed me shit-grown food.
I never said that. That's a lie. I never said that.
Be silent.
The Titan tells you what to do?
Of course.
When did this Titan begin speaking to you? When do you convene with it? How?
He speaks to us through the drink.
I fucking knew it. I'm thirsty. I would like to talk with the Titan.
Not allowed.
As Shimo was getting sort of belligerent and right before he gets out of hand, you see the clay become amorphous for a second and then form into a facsimile of the Titan that he was sculpting days before arriving, and it's leaning against Shimo's neck, making itself look like it's walking in place, and then going.
You cannot convene with the Titan. No outsiders can.
Fuck this guy. I want to stab him.
What?
Okay.
All right, man.
Roll an attack.
By the way, what you see up in the window of this silhouette watching, you see him put on one of the white gloves, 6-fingered white gloves, and pull it down over his hand.
I stabbed him really good.
Did you roll a 2?
No.
So you like try and swing this enormous sword, and he's just like out of the way with blinding speed. Do not threaten me. Do not attempt to strike me. I will ask you to leave now.
Alright, I turn to leave and then turn around to try and decapitate this bastard. Seriously, this guy's gonna die. I do not like him. He's a bad man.
What the fuck? Okay.
Come on!
You miss again. He jumps out of the way again. I will not warn you again. The Titan has a greater plan for all of us.
If he's gonna keep yakking, I'm gonna keep slashing. Alright.
I will not warn you again. Strike me again and I shall call the guard.
Oh man, I really kind of wish I could use my magnetism to just crush him like a fucking insect.
Yeah, as he's swinging, the moment of belligerence that Shimo was having, he's just sort of clutching at his gut as he's trying to hold back the laughter, and the clay on his shoulder in the form of this titan is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'm
You'll
gonna
be a
try
part
and.
of something greater.
Yeah,
You
he's
will
gonna be
be.
a part of my sword. Come on!
This guy is just way too quick. He's jumping out of the way every single time. You
At
can't
this
get anywhere
point,
near him.
Kira's scurrying off towards the tunnel.
Okay.
Dude, this is bullshit.
He just calls, guards, please assemble.
That's a call? What the hell?
As the words guards, Shimo like goes like this to tip his hat that's not really there, and at Ragnar, and the facsimile of clay in the form of the Titan just puts up the deuces, and Shimo starts to run.
The guards start coming out of a building. 10 of them.
10?
And they walk out and they're armed with shields and swords. And they approach. What can we do? This man
Arrest
tried to
this
assault me.
man.
Exactly. So they like move towards you, kind of almost circling you. Do not resist.
Alright, these guys, I'd attack them, but I'd probably fucking miss anyways. Character. Is there any, like, Numenera, like, death machines around me?
No.
No. What about the Titan? The thing that we're on,
hmm
is this a Numenera device?
What are you planning to do?
Use my machine control implant and control the Titan, have it rise up and just shake this city off like a bad case of fucking fleas.
You need to know how to use the machine in order for that to work.
I do. It's my cipher.
You need to know how to use the machine you're trying to activate.
The
The guards step forward.
Wait a second. Wonder if these guards are machines now.
You are under arrest. Do not resist.
No.
What's your plan here?
My plan is to pray to the dice gods that I can do some magneto force repel shit with my magnetism and make a runoff. Or go down swinging trying to kill the bad man.
Your magnetism works on up to 10 pounds worth of stuff.
Alright, I want to go down swinging trying to kill the bad man. Fuck this guy. Did it roll? Come on. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so once again, he just jumps out of the way. You hit the ground with your sword. The guards circle you. They all point swords at you. Do not attempt to resist. Come with us, or you will be destroyed.
That's against your protocol. You can't harm a human being.
One of them swings a sword. Make a speed defense roll.
Oh, I will. Like, I'm sure it'll be great. I guess that's not bad. I don't know why I can't roll that when I'm trying to hit this bastard.
Did you get 13? Okay, you jump out of the way just about. It hits your armor. And they say, we are well capable of hurting you. Do not resist. Come with us.
I I suppose I'll come with you.
Very good.
All right. Psych! And I attack him.
What'd you get?
60.
Okay, you hit one of the guards.
No. So I'm trying to reach out and hit Salad.
No, he's outside of the ring of the guards now.
Oh, then I don't want to attack then.
Okay.
Psych, double psych, I'm coming.
Okay. All right, you hit one of the guards with your sword. You do a chunk of damage.
I tripped. I didn't mean to do that.
They all attack.
No, I didn't want to. hit
It's happened.
him.
You've done it. They all attack. Make 10 speed defense rolls.
Damn it. All right. Here we go.
10 speed defense rolls.
Yes, I will use
Looking
some of my.
at a 12 for a target.
Yeah, I want to use some edges or something too, if I can. Let me see here. How much speed do I got?
You've got 10 rolls to make.
Right. I'm just saying. I don't know how much I'll be able to reduce.
It costs you 2 or 3 speed per reduction.
Well, I have the edge, so it'd be
2 per reduction.
all right. Fuck it.
So do you have 20 speed?
No.
Nope.
So there's one. There's a 19. I didn't know why I didn't roll them all at once. I'm gonna subtract. So there's the others.
Okay, 1.
It looks like I failed 2 of them.
Yep. Okay. You'll take 8 damage.
Total?
Yeah.
From both attacks, or yeah, so it'd be because I got the armor reducing by 2. So are they attacking with medium weapons?
Yeah. So you'll take 4.
Okay. All right, my bad, guys. Let's go to jail.
Are you putting down your sword?
Guys? What do you mean, guys?
Yeah.
Put down your weapon,
I get it.
or we will destroy you.
All right, I put down Matilda a look of loving and just sadness in my eyes as I let her go.
So 4 of them rush forward and grab you, and they drag you off to a jail cell. The 2 of you who ran away, you're able to get out of the city, no problem. No one chases you or anything. They're not worried about that. Flavius, you are still in that building wearing the glove.
Seeing that Ragnar was not successful in his attack, I smell the glove really long,
What the fuck?
and then I pull it off, and I put it back in my satchel.
Well, it wasn't for lack of trying.
So you guys who escape, are you planning to go back to the jungle, or are you planning to just go on about your business?
Kira is kind of afraid that if she tells these apes what happened, they'll freak out and maybe try to kill her. So she is going to take out a piece of cloth, because I didn't buy any paper, and with her ever filling makeup kit, she's gonna write a note. The jerk in the black trench coat ratted you guys out. The silver people are coming for you. They're going to take their children and probably kill all of you. She wraps it around an arrow, and she's gonna travel close enough to shoot it into the forest as far as she can shoot.
Yeah.
And then she's probably gonna go about her fucking business.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else, Flavius, while you're in town?
Oh. I am going to heavily suggest to Salazar the next time I see him that Ragnar's punishment should be forced assimilation with the silver liquid.
No. Worst fate imaginable for him. He hates these people.
Yeah, he's nodding. He
I
seems
even
at odds with our society. Perhaps assimilation would be good for him.
at one point I offered to drink it, and he's like, no. No.
Okay, are you going to stay in the city, Flavius? help them with the attack and stuff?
I am. Whatever
Okay.
they need me to do, with the goal of getting back to the Ape King.
Okay, so Kira, you're able to get closer to the jungle and fire an arrow in.
I'm not going to Kira. I'm not leaving the city. I'm hiding around, searching for whatever temple that Ragnar spoke of.
Okay. Um, Ragnar, you are in a ritual forced to drink from the Titan. They bring you down underneath, like under armed guard, and there's like an enormous silver heart, like 50 feet across, and
Right.
every couple of minutes it goes, and a little trickle of silver liquid comes out, and they make you drink of it, and almost immediately, you just stop being afraid, you stop being angry, you stop being happy, you just become fine. The people, the silver people, they do mobilize and they send people into the jungle. And Flavius is with them, and the destruction is pretty bad. They start burning, slashing down trees, killing all sorts of creatures within the jungle. They get to the ape kingdom. They forcibly take the children back, and they battle with the apes. A lot of the silver people die, but there's a lot more of them than there are apes. And eventually they take down the apes, and all children are assimilated into the fold. There you go. Monkey business.
Flavius,
Alright.
you're a tool.
So the last thing you see is me taking out a leather flap and laying it down on a rock and whistling as I'm looking at all my gear, the hooks and the blades. And I saunter over to the Gorilla King, the Ape King, and crack his ribcage open like a lobster.
Nice.
Kira is like perched on some rocky outcropping where she can see like the forest, and it's like it's burning down and shit. She's just like, fucking creep. She sighs and she like glides off into the sunset.
So did Shimo find any stockpiles?
No, it's all well within the Titan, and if you attempt to go down there, they stop you with guards and stuff. There's no way you're getting down there.
They still have guards with all the. Damn, there's a lot of.
No one gets in the Titan. It's a city, like there's a lot of people there.
All right, so in Shimo's frustration, right, he jumps off of the Titan, engaging his gravity nullifier, floating down to the bottom of the Titan, then affixing his detonator cipher to its ankle. He goes, all this for nothing? Man. And then you see the image of the clay on his shoulder, grabbing at his hair, going back and forth, shaking its head no in disagreement as Shimo fixes the detonator to the Titan's ankle and then starts running through the canyon to get away.
So pretty much just as Ragnar opens his eyes and you see that they're now silver, there's a boom. And that'll be it. Okay, so thank you to my players. I've got Nick, I've got Infinite Roleplay, Heath, and SR2 Joker. So thanks everyone for playing, and thank you for watching.